From the campus of Eastern Hancock High School in Charlottesville, Indiana, welcome to 9-Star TV's Game of the Week, where tonight it is a rivalry matchup set up to be a good one. It's the Eastern Hancock Royals hosting the Knightstown Panthers. Good Friday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Alongside Jim Leisure, I'm Rob Conant. Thanks for joining us on 9-Star TV as the Eastern Hancock Royals hit Ednar Field, and they're getting ready in front of a great crowd on this warm Friday evening. Jim, if you love small school rivalries, these two teams are separated by just 7 miles. They're both 3-1 on the year. One team loves to run the ball. One team loves to throw the ball. Should be a classic game here tonight.
No question. Again, like you just said, if you like small town Indiana football, this is what you want. You know, you mentioned, you think of like Duke, North Carolina. You know, two schools located, like you said, 7 miles apart. I think Duke and North Carolina are 8, but two teams that normally don't like each other.
You take a look at some of the stats coming into tonight. Like we mentioned, both teams 3-1 on the year. Knightstown allowing just 69 total points. Eastern Hancock allowing just 86 points all season long. And like we mentioned, the Royals love to pass the ball, over 1,000 passing yards on the season. On the other hand, Knightstown nearly 1,000 rushing yards on the season.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Doug Armstrong, the head coach at Eastern Hancock. I asked him for his keys of the game. The first one was tackle Walsh. He said, we have got to tackle this kid. We got to find a way to swarm him, get him to the ground, otherwise he'll run on all night. The other thing was score. He said, this is whoever scores 40 wins, and that's what he thinks it's going to take to win this game.
You mentioned the name Walsh. That is Nick Walsh, the senior, rushing for Knightstown, 52 carries, 178 rushing yards per game, a total of 6 touchdowns to his name on the season for Knightstown. You got their junior quarterback as well, Chase Richmond. But again, you look at the numbers for Nick Walsh, 533 total rushing yards, one of 4 guys they go to, but he is the key for Knightstown this season.
Yeah, and again, that's just after 4 weeks. I mean, 533 yards to some kid is a decent season, every now and then. So this kid's got it in 4 games, and he's definitely the focus of their offense.
On the other side, you have Eastern Hancock. They love to throw the ball. They go through the air this season, and their quarterback, Houston Swan, 75 of 108, over 1,000 passing yards and 15 touchdowns to his name.
Well, and again, 1,000 yards is a good benchmark for a quarterback in a season, and Houston has done it in 4 games. So this should be explosive. I agree with Coach. It's going to should be a shootout.
Again, Knightstown averaging about 27 points per game. Eastern Hancock nearly 40 points per game. And we mentioned it's a big rivalry. Both stands are packed. They're ready to go here tonight. And again, you look at the history of these two teams. Eastern Hancock at one point had won 5 games in a row from 2013 to 2017. Overall, Eastern Hancock has that advantage, 21 wins to 18 for Knightstown. But it was the Panthers getting some revenge last year when these two teams met. Knightstown won 21-8. And so Eastern Hancock on their home turf will try to get the revenge back in 2019.
Yeah, you don't want to sound cliche. It sounds like a cliche when you say throw the records up. But seriously, to coaches, those aren't cliches. Those are real things. When these two teams meet, it doesn't matter if one team's 0-4 and the other team's 4-0. This is a football game. These kids gear up all year long. This is circled in red. This is the ball game they look forward to.
Eastern Hancock will kick off, as you see. Number 11, that is J.P. Fox. He's a wide receiver, but he's also a defensive back. He's also their kicker. This kid does everything for the Royals.
And he's got a strong leg. He averages normally, I think, about to the 8-yard line. Now, I'm not saying that Coach Armstrong won't onside kick. I've worked with him for years. He will have a special teams play somewhere tonight. It may be an onside kick. It may be a fake punt. It may be a fake field goal. But he's got a strong leg, and he normally does kick it down to about the 5 to 8.
You saw some of our views from the field tonight. You might see semis going in the background. If you've never been here to Eastern Hancock, it's literally a high school in the middle of a cornfield, and you got Interstate 70 in the background. So it'll be a cool atmosphere here tonight in Charlottesville, Indiana, as we're just about ready to kick off and get this game underway. Week 5 of high school football around the state of Indiana. Both teams looking for that 4th victory of the season. Knightstown, this is the first time they are facing a team with a winning record. Eastern Hancock 3-1. 3 is the number of wins they had all season last year. Should be a fun one. Kickoff underway, and it is Mason Fields returning it from the 15-yard line, and he's going to be wrapped up near the 25-yard line. And here we go with Knightstown and their junior quarterback, Chase Richmond. He'll take the field, but again, it is a team that loves to run the ball. We'll be calling Nick Walsh's name a lot here tonight.
Well, and the hitting's already started there. Number 14, Wes Kane, just absolutely with a great form tackle, just put a smack down on the ball carrier there.
Thanks for joining us here tonight. A warm Friday evening in Hancock County. Game time temperature at about 87 degrees. First play of the game, they're going to hand it off to the right side. That is Nick Walsh. Breaks a tackle, gets across the 30-yard line on the far side of the field. Across the 35 already. A big pickup for Nick Walsh on the first play of the game.
Well, it's just a little bit of a zone play where I call this kind of middle zone where his aiming point is just outside the tight end or where a tight end would line up. And then after that, he's just going to look at his blocks and cut one way or the other. That time he stayed outside and was able to get the first down.
So they move the chains on the first play of the game. 1st and 10 from about the 37-yard line. Chase Richmond, quarterback, takes the snap, hands it off. This time it's to Ben Newby, and he'll pick up a couple of yards as he gets across the 40-yard line.
Well, and that was just an old-fashioned ISO, the old deal where in the old days quarterback would be under center, you'd have a fullback, a tailback, they'd lead the fullback. You can still do that with two backs in the backfield as Knightstown is showing us here. You can still run old-fashioned football plays even though you're in a shotgun spread.
Gain of about 4 on the play brings up 2nd and 6 just underway here at Eastern Hancock. Another handoff in the backfield. And another couple of yards. They say the ball is loose. Eastern Hancock says they have the ball. And they do. Eastern Hancock recovers a fumble, and the Royals will take over.
Hard to see who gets it here. He gets hit pretty much after he crosses the line of scrimmage.
I believe that was Newby once again, but there you see the ball came loose at about the 45-yard line, and the Royals were able to pick it up right there and then.
Yeah, Reed Hedrick was a guy, number 74 is a guy who caused the fumble.
So the Royals will take over, first turnover of the game, and now Eastern Hancock. They will run the ball on their first play of offense.
I think that ball actually got loose as well. I did see the linesman on the top of the screen there motion that his, down, that he was on the ground, but it looks like the ball comes loose. Watch the Knightstown defenders, they start to react. And you'll see everyone scrambling for the ball there. You see number 6 or number 8 there diving on it, but the official at the top said he was down.
So a gain of about 3 on the play. 2nd down for Eastern Hancock. Houston Swan, sophomore quarterback, in the backfield. Takes the snap. Another handoff, but they're going to go nowhere on that play.
That was Sam Thomas, the big nose tackle there, just blowing up the center, getting into the backfield and wrapping up the ball carrier at the same time. That's a pretty good football play.
That was Garrett Friesen on the carry, number 16. You get a look at Houston Swan again, only a sophomore, standing at 6'1", 190 pounds. But they're facing a 3rd and long situation here. 3rd and about 12. Swan looking to throw, rolls out to his left, being chased, has to throw it away, and it is caught at the 40-yard line by Caden Sotelo.
Knightstown brought a blitzer there. They brought an outside linebacker to Swan's left, and he had good protection here. And for some reason, he rolls to his left. He probably should have stepped up and in the pocket. Found himself in trouble there, but he was lucky enough to find a receiver.
Nice catch there by Caden Sotelo. His 12th reception of the season. But it's 4th down. They're going to go for it. Swan throws it. It is complete on the far sideline. There goes Caden Sotelo. 1st down and much, much more as he gets near the 10-yard line.
Well, not only is that a great route, Rob, because it picks up the 1st down. You see the receiver get just past the sticks. So when he catches it, it's a 1st down. Anything he can make after that's on him. He breaks the tackle. Nice job.
Nice move there by Caden Sotelo, the junior. And it's now 1st and goal, about 1st and 10 from the 11. Swan looking for the end zone, up and incomplete. They're looking for a flag, but nothing called. It was Robert Porter on the coverage for Knightstown's defense. Let's take a look at the replay. Eastern Hancock wanted the flag called.
Just a really good defensive play there. There was very little, if any, contact, but certainly not enough. When officials officiate, they go on the advantage, disadvantage things. Nobody gained an advantage there.
2nd and 10 from about the 10.5-yard line. Eastern Hancock on that big, nice throw and catch from Swan to Sotelo, setting up this situation. They're going to hand it off. And it's Cole Rainbolt trying to make a move towards the middle. Picks up a couple of yards on the play.
Well, they try to run the jet sweep to the right here. And this is a play that we used to call jet cut, where just what he did there, where he cuts back. We're going to try to get all the defenders going one way, plant our foot, change direction, get up underneath them. Defended well by Knightstown.
It's now 3rd and 8. Swan in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks left. Now he's going to throw across the middle, up for grabs, touchdown! J.P. Fox for the Eastern Hancock touchdown.
Well, if you watch the replay here, you're going to see Swan look off the receiver. He looks left, comes right back over the middle. This was pre-designed. He knew who he was going to throw to. He knew exactly what he was doing. Nice job, nice catch, way to come down with it.
Nice little jump ball going up for the rebound and the catch. J.P. Fox, the junior, his 4th touchdown of the season. And Eastern Hancock, they're going to go for 2. Swan in the backfield, along with Garrett Friesen. They'll hand it off to Friesen, trying to go up the middle, and he got it. 2-point conversion is good. Really? Eastern Hancock, with 8:30 left in the first quarter, they lead 8-0.
Well, really good surge by the left side of the Royal line there. You see on the replay here, this is what we just call inside zone. He's going to try to hit the A-gap. You see him right over the center. And then the rest of it, you see people pushing the pile there, which is legal. You can push the pile. You can't push the ball carrier. Number 58, Tyler Cavaletto, looked like he was helping that pile move into the end zone.
So Eastern Hancock takes advantage of the Knightstown turnover, and they go 45 yards for the touchdown drive. 8-0 with the Royals. And an early lead here in the first quarter.
We'll see what Eastern does here. It looks like Fox has got the ball set normally. I used to coach kickoff return. I always tell my front 5 guys, look at the football. If it's set weird, expect something. They do have 6 guys to Fox's right and only 4 behind him.
They will kick off. Nice kick. It'll be returned from the 15. Once again, it is Mason Fields with the return to about the 25-yard line.
I think Caden Sotelo, number 7, is the first guy down there, kind of escorts the ball carrier out of bounds. A couple other Royals are there to clean him up.
So the Panthers will try it again after they fumbled it away on their first possession. That was one thing Coach Montgomery talked to us before we went on air tonight, Jim, was 2 things he wants to work on tonight: the turnover margin and the penalties. They had 12 penalties last week in their win against Union City, so they got to clean up the penalties and the turnover margin.
Right. We haven't seen any flags yet, but certainly when you turn the ball over, your chances of winning decreases.
They're going to hand it off and breaking loose. Nick Walsh, their leading rusher, going to pick up about 6 on the play.
Well, I don't know if we get the replay here again, getting back. You have 2 backs, one on either side of the quarterback, and there's a lot of deception. As much as things evolve and everything is shotgun spread and people say, wow, this is a modern offense, it really goes back to almost to the old single wing where you're faking here and faking there and giving it to a guy over the top, and it's just regular football. They're just doing it from a spread set.
2nd and 4 for the Panthers. Under 8 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Richmond. They'll hand it off once again to Walsh up the middle. And the senior, let's see if he picked up the first down. Let's take a look at the replay once again. Just another nice little handoff to Walsh up the middle. Busting a tackle, trying to get close to that first down marker, and they're measuring it. And it is indeed a first down for Knightstown.
Well, really good job by Nick Walsh of keeping his legs churning and finishing the play. Well, we always say north. You want to go upfield, not backward. And he got that last little extra push, which was enough for the first down.
Fresh set of downs for the Panthers. Trailing 8-0. Walsh once again bringing a pile of Royals with him to about the 45-yard line.
Well, again, finishing north. Just, again, pushing the pile and just keeping the legs churning.
Watch this as he takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Eastern Hancock defenders with him.
He got an extra 40 yards.
Yeah.
Just on his own. That's everything you tell running backs. Bring your own block. There's going to be times we don't block anybody, so you better bring your own block.
Gain of 9 on the play brings up 2nd and 1. Richmond takes the snap. It's a high snap. Has to keep it himself, and now he's going to try to break loose on the near side. And he's going to be brought down hard by Connor Schultz, the senior linebacker. And it's a good thing Richmond was able to get out of there because that was destined to be disaster.
Yeah, you talked about it with Coach Montgomery. He said when we win the turnover battle, we win the game, and that was almost another turnover. And nice job by Schultz. Does not get the horse collar tackle because he didn't grab the shirt. You see that called every now and then, especially in the last 5 years when they changed that rule. So good defensive form tackle there.
So now they're at the 44-yard line, a loss of 2 on the play. They're going to hand it off to Walsh on the right side. Has a couple blockers, turns the corner, and here he goes. Here goes Nick Walsh down the sideline. Nick Walsh will go to the house. Touchdown, Knightstown. Nick Walsh.
Well, no surprise there. I mean, it's 3rd and short, basically 3rd and about 3. Who else are you going to give the ball to? Why not that guy? Great blocking on the perimeter. You see a great block there by number 7 downfield. The wideout, that's Mason Muncie with a nice perimeter block. Another great block downfield. Couldn't get a number on it, but it was a touchdown springer.
56 yards. Nick Walsh with his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And now Knightstown will attempt the PAT. Brett Montgomery will try to kick it. It is up, and it is good. So Knightstown answers right back with a touchdown, 56-yard rush to the house by senior Nick Walsh. It's now 8-7 here in the first quarter.
Well, a couple of big plays, really. Eastern Hancock was faced with a 4th and 4, whatever it was, and came up with a big play all the way down the 11-yard line. And it looked like Knightstown was starting to lose a little bit of their offensive momentum. The bad snap, the scramble by the quarterback, and then, boom, right back you go to Nick Walsh, your guy, and he just takes it to the house. So 8-7.
What did you say earlier? First one to 40 might win this game. It's looking like that already.
Yeah, that 40 may not be enough. We'll see. Again, Coach Armstrong told me he thought both teams were very good offensively. Admittedly, he said defensively we're not where we want to be. And he said, and if Knightstown has any type of Achilles heel, it might be on the defensive side of the football. And he said this could be a 44-38 game. And he jokingly said first 1 to 40 wins, and we'll just we'll agree to that. First 1 to 40 wins. If it's the middle of the 3rd quarter, we'll leave. But obviously that's not going to happen. So
it's been a while since we've seen either one of these teams score more than 40 points in a win. You go back to 2015, Eastern Hancock won against Knightstown 53-28 as a squib kick recovered at the 45-yard line by Eastern Hancock.
Yeah, I don't think that was an onside kick necessarily. It was just attempting a squib kick, maybe something down by the 45-yard line, but then hard to get a number there. It looks like number 8 for Eastern Hancock jumps up there and grabs that. Was Tyler Spear, I believe, who just jumps up and says, you know what, we'll take it right here.
So Spear with the recovery. The Royals will take over after that 45-yard touchdown drive there last time. It was capped off by an 11-yard touchdown from Swan to Fox. Let's see what the Royals do on their second offensive possession of the night. 8-7 here in the first quarter. Royals in front. Swan looking to throw. Now he's going to have to run. Scrambles to the left. Still looking to throw. And he finds a receiver on the far side. Caden Sotelo breaks a tackle. Here goes Sotelo down the field, and he's going to score. Are you kidding me?
60 may not be enough, Rob.
55 yards on one play. Let's take a look at this. How in the world did Caden Sotelo break loose? First off, you got Swan having to scramble, throws on the run. Sotelo catches it at the 40. And there he goes.
Yeah, basically made 4 people miss. Had a really nice downfield block, but a lot of that is him.
And they're going to go for 2 once again. Swan looking to throw, and he's got it. 2-point conversion is good to J.P. Fox. 1 play, 55 yards. It's now 16-7. Eastern Hancock here in the first quarter.
Well, and just because I know both coaches, I actually was an assistant coach for Coach Armstrong at New Palestine and Mount Vernon. And for 4 of those years, Coach Montgomery, the Knightstown head coach, was our defensive coordinator and then the offensive coordinator later at Mount Vernon. But it's funny to me, knowing these 2 men, that they're defensive-minded guys. And right now,
it's all offense.
It looks like a slot machine on the scoreboard. So just kind of weird to see these 2 great defensive minds come up with some great offensive plays.
Again, I'm Rob Connett, Jim Leisure. We're up here in the broadcast booth. And for those that don't know, Jim, you mentioned your coaching history. You've kind of been all over the place, haven't you?
I have. I started at Chittard, and I was there for about 8 years. And then I was at New Pal for about 8. And then, honestly, after that, it became a little bit of a traveling circus. Went to Noblesville, Lawrence North, Beech Grove, and ended up in Mount Vernon.
So you know what you're talking about.
You know what? I thought I did at one time. I'm sure there were some parents who would vehemently argue.
Eastern Hancock getting ready to kick off once again. What a start to tonight's game. 16-7. Eastern Hancock with the lead. And they'll kick it away once again. This time it'll be Nick Walsh with the return. Gets it to about the 30-yard line. Got tripped up there by Caden Sotelo.
This kid's everywhere. Obviously, 2 big receptions, 1 for a touchdown, but comes in as a really nice kind of ankle tackle here in the open field. And, why not put Walsh back there? I mean, seriously, I mean, he's your best guy. You want to put the football in his hands any way you can get it to him.
We mentioned Nick Walsh, leading rusher, leading receiver, does a lot on defense, and he does a lot for Knightstown.
Yeah, there's a timeout on the field, and honestly, I don't think either team took it. On a night like tonight, it's not uncommon for officials to add an extra timeout. A lot of times at the midpoint of each quarter, they're going to basically have a water timeout. And, the truth of the matter is the officials need water too.
Yeah,
because they're running up and down the field just like these players are. So, we've been very lucky, I think. The first 3 weeks, the weather was fantastic all across the state. Last week, a little bit muggy, but nothing like this. You can almost chew the air here tonight. It's so humid.
Again, temperature about 87 degrees when we kicked off here tonight. You see the Eastern Hancock student section. Probably a good choice on them to wear white. It's a whiteout for Eastern Hancock. But they're trying to stay nice and cool as best as they can, is everyone else here tonight on a muggy night in Hancock County. But we thank you for joining us. Week number 5 of high school football around the state of Indiana. Again, both teams coming in at 3-1 on the year. Knightstown will take over at the 30-yard line, and they're going to hand it off. This time it is 25, Ben Newby. Flag on the play, but Newby gets tripped up near midfield. We'll see what the penalty is, though.
Now, the umpire's already indicated a hold. It's just a matter of where the hold came. But that'll be a spot foul. It's past the line of scrimmage, so it'll go from the previous spot, I believe.
We'll see if we can find it on this replay. Newby with the handoff.
Yeah, probably right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 21 was being held. Gets tackled. You see it.
Right there at about the 34-yard line. So first penalty of the game. And, again, that's something Coach Montgomery talked to us about earlier tonight before we went on air in Knightstown. That's one thing they're trying to clean up. They had 12 penalties, 12 holding penalties.
Yes, just 12
last
holding
week
penalties, right.
in their win against Union City. So that'll move them back a couple of yards. Still first down for the Panthers. And they'll hand it off once more, getting across the 30-yard line. Once again, it was Ben Newby, the junior. So we've mentioned Nick Walsh. Obviously, he does it all for Knightstown. Came in with 533 rushing yards. Already has totaled or added to that with a 56-yard touchdown run. But Ben Newby is their second leading guy, about 50 yards on the ground per game coming into tonight. Picked up about 4 on that play, brings up 2nd and 8. And another flag. false start could be called against Knightstown.
That's just about, it could be somebody lined up in the neutral zone too. We'll see. I did not see the signal from the head referee there. But they backed Knightstown up, so it must have been a false start. It's one of those two. Either one of the, because they'll blow both of them dead. In high school football, once the center has set the ball, he's got his hands on it. If a defender gets in the neutral zone, it's an automatic dead ball. It's not like college and pro where you can get back. So it's one of the two, and obviously it must have been a false start.
So right back where they were, it's now 2nd and 13. Looking to throw, and that came out of the hands of Chase Richmond, a little awkward. Might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. Either way, an incomplete pass.
Looked like somebody got a hand on it here.
Might have been 50, yeah. Tyler Fields, the freshman, getting a hand on that for Eastern Hancock.
Well, again, at this level of football, whether you're single A, double A, it's not uncommon to play freshmen. If you've got a kid that can play, you don't have 85 guys on your roster. So if you got a kid that can play, even if he's a 9th grader, you get him in the ball game.
Yeah. 3rd and long for Knightstown. The Eastern Hancock faithful getting loud for their defense here. Looking to throw once again. It is caught on the far side. And James Lukens will pick up about 5 or 6 on the play, but that will bring up 4th down.
Now they tried a little screen there, a little flanker screen or split-end screen. The blocking's there. You can see the downfield blocks. And he makes one guy miss, but just not enough. Too much blue out there to break those.
So it looks like Knightstown will punt. And who else? Nick Walsh with a booming punt. It'll bounce at the 35 and be picked up by Cole Rainbolt, but he is immediately wrapped up at the 25-yard line. What can Nick Walsh not do? He is their leading rusher, leading receiver. He plays defense, and he's their punter. Yeah,
he's a very valuable kid, and obviously some of you want to keep healthy, but you also got to keep him fresh. And on a night like tonight, we saw the last series where you got a little bit more of Ben Newby running the football, and that might have just been Coach Montgomery saying, you know what, kid, take a breather here, drink some water. We'll let Ben run the football for a possession. And who knows, maybe had they got a first down, maybe they'd have come right back to him. But that's not uncommon. You got to keep that kid fresh and in the ballgame.
Eastern Hancock will start at the 25-yard line. They've already scored 2 touchdowns on 2 offensive drives so far here in the first quarter. Swan, the sophomore, takes the snap. Looks left, throws left, but it's incomplete. Caden Sotelo was the intended receiver, but the throw looked a little short.
I think there was a little miscommunication there because Sotelo went deeper than where Swan was throwing the football. So I also noticed, too, Knightstown has changed their defensive front. You see this here again. And Sotelo's still running deep. So, yeah. But Knightstown started in a 3-3 where they have a nose man and 2 defensive tackles over the tackles and 3 stack linebackers. Now they're going back to the 3-man front here. 2nd
and 10 for Eastern Hancock. 3.5 to play here in the opening quarter. Swan throws it out to the near side. It's caught by Olivo. Victor Olivo, the senior, picks up about 3.5 on the play.
Really nice open field tackle by Robert Porter here, number 87.
The first reception of the night for Olivo, but brings up 3rd and long for the Royals. First time we've seen them in this type of position tonight. Swan scrambles out of the pocket, throws it forward. That is a loose ball.
They're going to call it a fumble. If anybody would have called it an incomplete forward pass, it would have been the white hat. He made no indication.
They're going to give that to Knightstown.
Yeah, we'll see the replay here. If it is a forward pass, even underhanded, it's an incomplete pass. But the white hat makes that call, and he does not make any call. That's a fumble.
Yeah, that came loose.
Yeah.
And it was recovered by Sam Thomas, the 6'3", 295-pound junior with the fumble recovery. So a turnover there for Eastern Hancock and great field position for the Panthers.
And a lot of times you like teams will take a shot at the end zone after a big turnover like this.
They're going to pitch it out to Ben Newby, trying to turn the corner. He does. Breaks away from one tackle. Here goes Newby on the far sideline, diving for the pylon. And they're going to rule him just short of the goal line. But what a run by the junior Ben Newby.
Yeah, he was hit at the line of scrimmage. He breaks a tackle there and then runs through everybody else. You'll see it here right about the 30-yard line. There's going to be a defender there that gets right there, gets a hand on him about the 31. Newby just runs right through it.
Trying to get to the goal line. They're going to push the pile, but they're going to rule him short. That'll bring up second and goal for Knightstown. They trail 16-7 with just over 2 minutes to play here in the opening frame.
Well, Coach Montgomery trying to catch the Royal defense napping just very quickly, got the line of scrimmage and ran what we call just a wedge, where all the linemen literally block each other. You push the lineman to the inside, try to get in the end zone.
Newby and Walsh in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Walsh, tries to dive for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Knightstown. Nick Walsh with his second rushing touchdown of the night. Watch him Superman dive for that end zone.
Yeah, he's just such a good runner that you're not going to be able to keep him out from there. He's going to find a way. He's a great athlete, great kid. He's going to find a way.
Knightstown to attempt the extra point. And again, it's Nick Walsh doing the kicking.
I'm surprised he's like Bugs Bunny where he doesn't snap it, hold it, and kick it.
So they'll try the PAT. Hold, kick, and it is blocked. So they will not get the PAT. So that will make the score 16-13. Royals still in front with just under 2 minutes to play.
Well, and again, another rule difference between high school and college here. This try is no good in high school. The second the try is over, it's done. It's blown dead. In college, he could have ran that all the way back, and a guy like Victor Olivo could have. I couldn't. I probably couldn't have got about 10 or 15 yards before I would have fell down out of exhaustion. But Victor probably could have went the length of the field for 2 points, but that's on a high school rule.
16-13, Eastern Hancock still with the lead. What a first quarter.
Unbelievable. I really did not expect this. I mean, it's just been big plays, but big plays off of turnovers. I mean, when you turn the ball over your own 31-yard line, I don't know the exact figure, but it's got to be less than 20% of the time do you keep them from scoring, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. So protect the football, you have a tendency to win.
You get a good look at Chad Montgomery. It was 9-2 in his first year with Knightstown last season. They lost the first game of the season, went on a 9-game winning streak, and then ended up losing in the sectional. And they've started this 2019 campaign with a record of 3-1. And an onside kick, it will be recovered by Eastern Hancock about the 48-yard line.
Well, we talked, Rob, in off camera before the game. I actually saw Walsh practicing his onside kicks, and not surprised that he's going to give it a shot here. Unfortunately, it's great if you get it, but now, again, talk about field position. Eastern Hancock starting on your side of the 50-yard line, and they haven't even ran a play yet. So tough to give up that field position, but Coach Montgomery felt it was worth it to try to get the onside kick.
The Eastern Hancock, they fumbled on their last possession. Great start near midfield on this possession. Swan will throw it out to the near side. It is caught by Zach Arnold. Breaks one tackle across the 45. Spins around, and he's across the 35. Finally brought down near the 30. What a move by Zach Arnold, the sophomore.
What a little bitty guy, too. You see him get up off the pile, and everyone's towering over him. I'll tell you what, more than anything else, what I've seen so far from both teams is poor tackling. You got to make these tackles, guys. I mean, you got to wrap people up, put your shoulder pad into his rib cage.
A handoff up the middle. And getting across the 25, a flag thrown at the end of the play as it was Olivo with the carry, but we'll see what the penalty is.
Could be a face mask. A lot of times when you got that scrum, somebody gets their hand on some of the headgear. Assisting the runner against Knightstown makes no sense at all. It must be against Eastern. and it's just a horrible call, just a terrible call. You never see that called. If this is assisting the runner.
Yeah, that's
just horrible. That the umpire there, he doesn't understand the rule. You can push the pile, okay? And that's all that you saw the late lineman come in late, and he just kind of pushes the whole group forward. Just awful. That's either an official who doesn't understand the rule or just wanted to insert himself in the game here.
I was going to say, I've never seen that called.
The only time you ever see
in
it
high school
is on the goal line. Sometimes they'll give the ball to a running back who's stacked up, and then the quarterback will go and push the running back in the back. That's clear and obvious. That's assisting the runner. That's not what we had here.
Yeah. So, Olivo had a pretty nice run, but after the penalty, it'll be 2nd and 7. They'll hand it off to Olivo once again, and he gets across the 25-yard line, or right at the 25-yard line. They'll bring up 3rd and about 3.
Well, here you have your entire playbook open to you really here. You could run a little play action because that's going to get the defensive secondary to come downhill a little bit because 3rd and 3, you certainly could be running the football. Or you could just simply drop back and throw it. You can throw screens. You got the whole playbook available here.
Under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Swan looking to throw, and it is caught. Caden Sotelo once again. And he is pretty close to that first down marker.
Looks like the ball came loose again because number 16 comes up with it for Eastern Hancock. I also saw several defensive players. Watch the defensive players react at the end of the play. And they're not diving on the ground because somebody lost a contact lens. They're diving on the ground because the ball's loose. You see it. Yeah.
Came loose at the very end, but Eastern Hancock able to recover, and now they're going to measure to see how close it is to that first down marker. And after the fumble, great view, by the way, by our camera guys down on the field, and that is how short Eastern Hancock is. It'll be 4th at about 6 inches.
Yeah, and with no real kicking game, I mean, there's certainly not a chance for a field goal here. This is a no-brainer for Coach Armstrong and his staff. Now, again, this is something philosophically as a coach. When you're a shotgun spread team, it's 4th and 6 inches, and you're getting ready to snap it back and make it 4th and 6. I don't understand why you can't get under center. But see, again, when he catches the football,
you're about 5 yards back.
Yeah.
They'll hand it off up the middle. Garrett Friesen, and it looks like he got it.
There you go, past the white stripe, and the white stripe was past the marker, so.
The drive stays alive for the Royals. Here in the late stages of the first quarter, they lead 16-13. And about 15 seconds left. Here in the first quarter, Swan once again to the shotgun. Takes the snap, quick throw, and it is deflected at the line. Incomplete. And a great play there by the Knightstown defense.
Yeah, defensive end there. It looked like Ben Brown. He's listed as 6'3", and he does a nice job of just leaving his feet, which is what you're supposed to do. It's what you coach those kids to do. If you can't get there, if you're a defensive lineman, you're rushing the passer, you can't get there, he releases the ball, jump. You got nothing to lose. You're not going to get there anyway.
So it brings up 2nd and 10. Swan hands it off. Friesen, and he is dropped at about the 14-yard line, and that will end the first quarter. Entertaining start to tonight's game. After one, it is Eastern Hancock 16, Knightstown 13. We'll be right back. You're watching our Game of the Week, Friday Night Lights on 9-Star TV.
It's time to get more from your health care. More time with your family. More ways to live a healthy life. More of what really matters to you. At Hancock Health Gateway, get expert personal attention. First-class immediate care when you need it most. Affordable labs, scans, x-rays, and ultrasounds. Easy check-ins, upfront cost estimates, and pricing and billing that just makes sense. New Pal, Greenfield, McCordsville, East Indianapolis. Hancock Health Gateway is right where you live. Hancock Health Gateway, a vision of healthful living brought to you by the people of Hancock County. Opening in September at I-70 and Mount Comfort Road. Learn more at hancockgateway.org.
Welcome back to Eastern Hancock High School. Rob Connett and Jim Leisure with you here. The lights are officially turned on here at Ednar Field. As we're starting the second quarter, Swan with a throw across the middle. It is caught by Fox. And a shoestring tackle made by Nick Walsh, of all people, for Knightstown. Just shy of the goal line.
Well, I noticed again in pregame when we were looking at the statistics that Walsh wasn't the leading tackler, but he did have about 15 or 16, which led me to believe he's probably the free safety, which it looks like they're playing a two-deep look. So, again, best player on the field, you want him deep.
That brings up first and goal, and now a timeout taken by Knightstown. Sun getting ready to set here in Hancock County. And once that sun sets, it'll finally start to cool off just a little bit. Look at that. Yeah. Sunset. Beautiful view.
That's almost artistic. You know, Rob, you had mentioned, too, the traffic out on I-78. Been here for lots of games as a player years ago and then as a fan and a coach. And a lot of the truckers out there, you'll hear them, use the air horn just because I think they remember those days, those Friday night lights, just like the Kenny Chesney song. And as they're making their living here as adults, they look over and they probably wish they were over here. And you'll hear them blow the air horns 3 or 4 times a night, I promise.
Just underway here in the second quarter. Eastern Hancock looking to add to their 16-13 lead. First and goal for the Royals. Houston Swan, the sophomore quarterback, already with 2 passing touchdowns on the night. Takes the snap. They'll hand it off to Olivo, and he is in for the Eastern Hancock touchdown. Victor Olivo, his second rushing touchdown. Check that, his first rushing touchdown, second touchdown altogether here in 2019.
Well, they spread them out. They lined up in a spread formation and took some of the box defenders, as it were, for Knightstown out of the box, and just opens up the middle.
And once again, they will go for 2. Quick throw out to the near side and in for the 2-point conversion. Zach Arnold once again. And Eastern Hancock adds to their lead. It's now 24-13 here in the early stages of the second.
Well, it's just so hard to defend 2 or 3 yards, and especially when teams spread you out like that. Really good perimeter block out there, I believe, by Sotelo, but I don't believe, and I may have already said this, I can't remember, but I don't think Eastern Hancock has tried, even attempted, a kicked PAT so far this year. It's all 2 points. I talked to Coach before the game, and he said that basically they got a good kicker. He doesn't feel comfortable enough in his snapper and holder. And you got to get that thing off in under 1.5 seconds, otherwise it's going to get blocked. So if you're too slow, too inconsistent on the snap and the hold, there's not even any sense in trying it.
The Eastern Hancock third touchdown of the night. They scored 2 early on in the first quarter. An 11-yard touchdown pass from Swan to Fox. And then Swan to Sotelo. And now a 1-yard touchdown rush for Victor Olivo. So 24-13 Royals with the lead. And now the return. On the far side of the field, Mason Fields will get across the 25-yard line to about the 27.
Well, Coach Montgomery, they're employing the theory that if you always return kicks back to your sideline, you'll get fewer penalties because nobody on your sideline is going to be yelling, "That's a block on him back, that's a hold." If you come this way, you're going to have 25 officials over here.
Oh, that's a good point.
So always return to your sideline until you don't, and then that's when you and that's when you trip them up. You go to your sideline, to your sideline, to your sideline. Teams start to over-adjust, then you come back the other way.
Knightstown will take over, starting this drive at about the 26-yard line. They trail 24-13 here in the early stages of the second. Walsh with the handoff. Walsh down the sideline. Walsh is free. Nick Walsh going all the way. Touchdown, Knightstown. 74 yards. My goodness.
Yeah, I hope this young man can hold up because it's going to be a great football game to watch if he can hold up. It's hard to go this far. Again, he's already done it twice now. Really nice block. I think it was by Muncie downfield right there. You see it on your screen. Hard to see the player, but the number. And you got to give number 5, Cole Rainbolt, some credit. He hustled all the way down there and never gave up on the play and just could not make the tackle.
Nick Walsh with all 3 touchdowns tonight for Knightstown. They'll go for 2, and getting into the end zone conversion is good for James Lukens. And so it's just like that, 24-21.
Well, a little bit of a mishandled snap there, but it actually it almost put everybody offensively and defensively kind of off their rhythm and off their timing, and just enough for him to punch it in. So now Knightstown kicks off. They've done a short squib that was taken immediately by one of the front 5 and gave up great field position. And then they tried the onside and didn't get that. And so they've given up great field position twice. We'll see whether or not this time they try to kick it a little bit deeper.
If you like offense and you like big plays, this is the game to watch. You have a 56-yard touchdown rush by Nick Walsh in the first quarter, and a 55-yard pass from Swan to Sotelo in the first quarter, and now a 75-yard touchdown run by Nick Walsh. Big plays here in the first half, 24-21, and another squib kick. It will be recovered by the Royals at the 38-yard line, and Wes Kane, the junior, will get it close to midfield.
Looks like we may have a Knightstown player down. Try to get a number. Looks like number 15, as you can see on your screen there.
That is James Lukens.
Senior wide receiver DB. Hard to see what happened. Honestly, the way he's holding his head and the way he's staying very still, that's not a good sign necessarily. It could be, a neck or something like that. I don't know if we can get a replay here to see whether or not sometimes players that you wear helmets to protect your head when you inadvertently have to make contact. It's well documented from the NFL on down. Don't lead with your head. Don't tackle with your head. Don't block with your head. Every now and then, though, if you lose your balance and then, maybe you take a knee to the head, or that's why you got a helmet on.
Right.
Is so that, when you do lose your balance or the ball carrier shifts on you at the last minute, there could be some contact, either head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet, or knee-to-helmet. This is not necessarily looking very good.
So it's James Lukens, the senior for Knightstown, who is down at the 45-yard line. And all night long, both fan bases have had a lot to cheer about, but right now it's pretty quiet. We're going to take a commercial break as they attend to James Lukens at the 45-yard line. We'll be back on 9 Star TV. Welcome back to Eastern Hancock High School. Rob Connett and Jim Leisure. You see the good news, James Lukens is up on his feet, walking on his own. Not so good news is he's needing assistance and walking very slowly, but down for a couple of minutes. We didn't get exactly a good look at what happened, but We're hoping James Lukens will be okay, but as you can see there, he is walking very gingerly back to the Knightstown sidelines.
Well, obviously there's absolutely no chance that he'll return tonight, and it looks like maybe it could be a collarbone too from the way that the medical personnel there is kind of holding his shoulder in place as they walk. But he's still not off the field. And honestly, they really need to get him off the field. They can't just get him over the white line. They need to get him all the way out of the bench area so that, if the ball goes out of bounds over there. So, but the good news is that he's up. And initially when he wasn't moving and they weren't moving him, I didn't feel good about it. So I feel better about it now.
So we'll try to get an update if we can later tonight on James Lukens as he is taken to the Knightstown sideline. We'll get back to action. Eastern Hancock, Swan looking to throw, and there was miscommunication on that play because Zach Arnold did not even turn around to look at the ball heading his way.
Yeah, they motioned him out of the backfield to what we call an empty set, and again, it was as if he was in the wrong huddle because everybody knew the ball was going to him except for him because you could see the downfield people blocking. They knew it was a screen behind the line of scrimmage. It's okay to block. And like I said, it was almost as if everybody had a secret and nobody told him.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Eastern Hancock leading 24-21 in a very entertaining first half here tonight. Swan looking to throw across the middle. It is caught right near the first down marker. And a nice catch there by O'Neal. First time we have called his name tonight. Landon O'Neal, the sophomore, with the reception.
Really good protection there. You see on the replay, really good pocket. And they spot him just shy.
Yeah, that's not a very friendly spot if you're an Eastern Hancock fan. 3rd and short at the 43-yard line. Swan will hand it off. Zach Arnold breaking loose. Here goes Zach Arnold. Touchdown, Eastern Hancock.
Well, Knightstown brings a blitz. It looked like it was from the secondary. And once Arnold breaks that, gets past that linebacker depth now because that blitzer, he just replaces the blitzer. You see the linebacker come right there, picked up nicely by the center, and then watch this explosion. I mean, he just puts it in another gear right here and just squeezes right through the Knightstown defense. It's almost as if he found another gear.
Zach Arnold with the rush. His first rushing touchdown of the season. He had a couple of receptions in the end zone. His first one on the ground in 2019, and once again, the Royals will go for 2. Arnold, again, he's in.
You like the way this kid runs. He changes directions really well. And that's 2 times that he's carried the football, and he hadn't really been touched either time because of his elusiveness. He starts right, doesn't see it, plants his foot, cuts back, or extra point, not touchdown.
32-21, the fireworks go off once again here at Eastern Hancock High School. What an entertaining first. You were talking about first one to 40 to win. We might get to 40 before halftime.
Are you kidding me? We may get to 50 by halftime. There's 10 and a half minutes to play in this quarter, and it's just big play after big play. Neither team has really gone on a sustained drive, 8, 10, 12 plays. It's been 2 plays, touchdown. 1 play, touchdown.
Yeah.
Just big plays. So at some point, the 2 defenses on both sides really need to step up because defensively, right now, this is getting almost embarrassing. Offensively, brilliant. Absolute, almost perfection.
For Eastern Hancock, 11-yard touchdown from Swan to Fox, 55-yard touchdown from Swan to Sotelo, a 1-yard touchdown rush for Victor Olivo, and now a 43-yard touchdown run for Zach Arnold. 4 touchdowns on 5 possessions for Eastern Hancock. They lead it 32-21. Fields with the return, brought down at the 25-yard line.
That was number 14, Wes Kane was the first one in there. There was another Royal defender as well. This is a big deal. You got, when you're kicking deep and you got a good kicker, you want to keep them beyond or behind the 30-yard line. And anytime you can do that, that's a win for your kickoff team.
For Knightstown, three touchdowns on the night on 5 possessions. Here on their next possession, it's Newby with the carry, but he is brought down, and there's the flag.
This could be, again, either a hold on the perimeter on the block, but it almost looked to me like it could have been a face mask out there on the tackle.
Too.
Yeah.
We'll see what
I think they're going to call horse collar, actually.
Let's see if we can check it out on the replay. Newby trying to turn the corner, and he was brought down by Connor Schultz.
And we'll see what the indication.
Actually, kind of looked like they both got each other's face masked a little bit.
Yeah. I saw the lines with the man who threw the flag. No, it's face mask. Okay. It looked to me like he pulled on his shirt collar. But it is the 5-yard variety.
So the penalty against Eastern Hancock. Been a pretty clean first half so far.
Penalty-wise, certainly. It's been a great football game to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, you're certainly not going to – there won't be anybody at the ticket window wanting their money back after this one, I don't think.
It's a 1st and 5 after the penalty. Richmond hands it off once again. And the ball came loose. Let's see who has it. Eastern Hancock says they got it.
It's going to be close. It looked like the ball carrier was able to get it just right at the end. And then you saw the blue shirts kind of slide in. But there's a fight going on down there. There's people pulling and tugging and trying to get the corner of the football, the point, so you can pull it out.
Meanwhile, Landon O'Neill is saying, hey, ref, thank you. Referee was on top of him, trying to figure out who had the ball in that pile.
You'll see it again. The ball's loose right there.
Yeah, what a great
and
play.
And it wasn't the ball carrier. Oh, no, it is the ball carrier, and he was able to get it. But I didn't know whether or not some of those Royal defensive players weren't tugging and pulling on it.
So they did recover the fumble, but a gain of nothing. It's now 2nd and 5 from the 30-yard line. Richmond looking to throw. He's going to be brought down in the backfield. Big Tyler Vandervliet with the sack.
Watch this. If we get the replay here, this guy is getting double teamed. He's the defensive end. He's getting double teamed. He fights.
Triple teamed.
Yeah, triple. And just, wow, you talk about desire. We used to run a drill called desire. And it would start with a defensive lineman down and one offensive lineman blocking him. And then if that guy lost him, the second one came in. And then if those two lost him, then a third one would come in. That's desire drill. That's why you run the drill. What a play.
Vandervliet, the senior, his 6th tackle for loss, and he's now got 4.5 sacks on the season. 3rd and long after the long sack, and now Knightstown will hand it off. Here comes Walsh on the near side. He will be taken out of bounds at about the 32, and it will bring up 4th down for the Panthers.
Boy, he just runs so well. You just watch him, and when he gets the football, I don't know about you, but I just start going, okay, all right, what's he going to do? It gives Coach Montgomery an option here. It's going to be 4th about 3. I just love watching him. It almost looked like he was about ready to squirt through there. There's a lot of blue shirts there.
Yeah.
I mean, great pursuit by the Royal defense, but it doesn't matter with Nick Walsh. He's going to find a way to get an extra yard or two.
So Knightstown, they're going to go for it here on 4th and 3 from the 32-yard line, and the snap is over the head of the quarterback. Ball will be recovered by Richmond, but Eastern Hancock is going to take over and have fantastic field possession on their next possession.
Well, as if we needed another big offensive play here. We're starting to drive at the 16-yard line. Again, it's hindsight's 20/20. When a lot of this stuff, the shotgun spread started coming into high school football about 10 years ago, I didn't like it because of this big reason right here, and that is the bad snaps. These are high school kids. They're not professionals, and big plays like that can sometimes kill you.
Eastern Hancock will start inside the red zone. They're going to throw it on the near side, complete to Cole Rainbolt. And he's dropped at about the 15-yard line.
Well, this play absolutely reads everywhere. Swan is going to read the backside defensive end on the zone read. Then if he decides to keep it, then the outside linebacker stays. You're going to see the fake to Olivo. He's reading this backside defensive end. He closes. He goes out. He's going to try to either keep it or throw it. He decided to throw it. It's really just a long option, like in the old days of the wishbone. 2nd
and 7 for the Royals. They lead 32-21. Swan looking for the end zone. Incomplete. Just ahead of Caden Sotelo. He was looking for his 2nd touchdown of the night, but instead it will bring up 3rd and 7.
Really good offensive line play. You look at the right tackle here, 58. That's Boudry, I think, and nice job of moving his feet. Gave Swan plenty of time. He just couldn't connect.
Handoff up the middle. Looked like Olivo once again with the carry up the middle, but it will bring up 4th down for the Royals.
And Victor Olivo is a really nice football player, don't get me wrong. But when he goes up the middle like that and gets hit at the line of scrimmage, it's different than when Nick Walsh does it.
Yeah.
Walsh just finishes it. Victor's not, I don't think you look at Victor, he's not a real big kid. He doesn't have the strength and the leg drive that Walsh does.
Closing in on 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Swan looking, and it is incomplete, and it will be a turnover on down. So what a defensive stand.
Absolutely.
For Knightstown.
Yeah, for once, somebody has stepped up, and you got to give a ton of credit to the Knightstown defense because they were in a terrible position. Momentum, all that stuff, and that's real stuff, especially to high school kids. 1st and 10 at your own 16-yard line, and you hold. So hats off to the Panther defense.
So it will remain 32-21. Knightstown gets the ball back after a turnover on downs by Eastern Hancock. Richmond will hand it off. It's Newby going to the far side, turns the corner, and here goes Newby. 1st down and more. All the way to the 35-yard line.
Well, again, it's perimeter blocking, and that's what I mean by that is the wide receivers. You tell your kids, listen, if you can't block, you can't play. Every receiver wants to pat the ball thrown to him. Great job, 87. Robert Porter there, just downfield blocking. It starts with that. When you show me you can block, then I'll throw you the ball.
Timeout taken on the field. We'll keep it here. 32-21, still plenty of time until halftime. What a game we have had here at Eastern Hancock High School. And it's been really the story of big play after big play for both teams.
Without question, again, even the defensive stand there, that's a huge, huge play. When you give, I don't have the stats in front of me. I used to have all this stuff. I used to know all this stuff. But when you get the ball 1st and 10 at your own 16-yard line, I'll bet the other team scores 90% of the time.
Yeah.
To hold them out is just huge, especially in a ball game like this where it looks like every single possession is going to matter. This is almost like a basketball game. Yeah. Where both teams are going to get 52 possessions, and whether or not you convert your free throws or your turnovers is going to be a big difference.
So Eastern Hancock will come back out on defense. Fresh set of downs for Knightstown at the 35-yard line. 6:45 to play here in the first half. Richmond looking to throw, launching downfield, and it is out of the fingertips of the intended receiver. That was Max Muncie, who almost had a big-time play there.
And good coverage provided by Olivo, number 88 back there, running stride for stride with him, but just barely overthrown him. Good ball. Just overthrew him a little bit.
2nd and 10 for the Panthers. And again, coming into this game, we knew Knightstown was the running team. Eastern Hancock has been the passing team. But honestly, we've seen a good mix of both for both teams.
Well, you got 2 really good head coaches and two really good staffs, assistant coaches. As a defensive coordinator, you go into every week and you identify based off film trade. I mean, all these schools trade films with each other on an application called Huddle. And so you know what they run and you know what their favorite plays are, and you look at max preps and you see their stats. And defensively, if you can take away their 3 favorite running plays, force them to run other running plays that they don't do well, that's your goal. Offensively, again, you want to be able to run your stuff regardless of what the defense does.
3rd and 7 for Knightstown. From about the 38-yard line. Richmond scrambling out of the pocket on the run, and he will go right to the sidelines. Picked up maybe 1 on the play, but great pressure there by the Eastern Hancock defense.
Yeah, that was actually the nose man that time. Royal kind of shaken up a little bit. Again, he's not hurt real bad. Looks like it might be an ankle as he tried to stand up.
Is that Vandervliet? Get a replay of Richmond scrambling. There's Vandervliet, number 60, got taken from behind.
Yeah. You see him go down there. It's tough to say. A lot of times, again, you'll see people go on the back of the legs. Again, it's football, and there's bodies and there's collisions and different things. But when they come down on your shins, or your calves or your Achilles, it's quite painful.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like stubbing your toe. A lot of times you just got to lay there and let the pain go away and kind of bite your lip a little bit.
So Doug Armstrong, head coach for Eastern Hancock, we'll see if his big-time senior, Tyler Vandervliet, he is being helped to the sideline. And he had that big sack on the last possession.
Right. Well, that time it was the other two guys, really. I mean, it was 54, Levi Durham, and 51, Connor Knudsen, one or the other, was applying the pressure. And like you said, Vandervliet was just kind of trailing the play and just got rolled up on.
4th and long for Knightstown. And they will go for it, trailing 32-21.
I think they're lined up and punt.
Actually, they will punt it away. And Eastern Hancock will let it go. It will roll to about the 20-yard line. Actually, it turned out to be a nice punt for Knightstown. They flipped the field, and the Royals offense will come back out. After their last possession, they started in the red zone, and they were unable to find the end zone.
Yeah, again, you got to remember this is high school football, and was there a flag on the play? They were talking about something.
Looks like a flag back at 40.
So if you're Coach Armstrong, you back them up. I don't think you take that starting field position. You don't want that roll. Make them kick it again. But one of the things that I've noticed so far is that the punt return guy is really, really deep. He needs to come up and either catch that ball in the air. Again, it's an old Craig Barr stat, but when a punt hits the ground, it costs you 20 yards because it just always invariably rolls that far. Run up there and fair catch it. Take it at the 40. Don't take it at the 20. Don't let it roll. We'll see what they decide to do. Looks like they're going to make them re-kick it, which is what I would do. If I'm Coach Armstrong, I don't like that field position. I say kick it again, and he's just signaling to his guy, move up. Catch the ball in the air. Don't let a punt hit the ground if you can avoid it. And you can. All you got to do is run up there and fair catch it. This is where one of those jugs machines, I mean, a lot of people think of a jugs machine, they think baseball, but jugs also makes a football machine. And if you have one, you can have your punt return guys catch 40 balls a night.
Yeah.
And it doesn't break your kicker's leg off because,
right.
At the high school level, a kid will eventually, his leg will fall off. But you can do 40 of them in about 5 minutes. I mean, just have a student manager sit there and shove footballs through that machine and just practice fair catching it. You can get really, really good at it.
So it looks like we finally got it figured out, and it looks like they will make Knightstown punt it again. So it'll be Nick Walsh to try it again for Knightstown after the holding penalty.
Where's the return man last? He lined up a little bit shorter this time. He's lined up on his own 35. I'd move him up to the 40.
And Walsh is back near the 20 to punt it away. Again, a nice punt once again, and this time it will be returned by Cole Rainbolt. Spins away from one tackler and finally brought down at about the 40-yard line.
So that, in effect, that 10-yard holding penalty really becomes a 20-yard penalty. Like, wasn't the ball originally like at the 20?
Yeah, about the 25.
Okay, all right. So a 15-yard penalty there is really what it cost you. You can't hold. You just can't. And one of the things that I know that you laugh, you say, well, of course, coaches need to do a better job of sitting their kids down on a knee and actually showing them what a hold looks like and show them they're going to call this. They're not going to call this, but they're going to call that. You got to coach them, and that's just unacceptable.
Swan will hand it off. Coming on the near side, it's J.P. Fox. Going to be wrapped up by about 4 different Panthers right at the 50. So a nice carry there for J.P. Fox.
Yeah, a little bit of a trick play there, and I think you and I talked earlier in the week, Rob, and I told you that these two coaches know each other so well. offensively and defensively, that I think there's just going to be some more of that stuff where not just misdirection, but almost kind of trick plays, reverses, halfback passes, that kind of stuff, unbalanced lines.
Second and short, they'll pitch it, same play. Fox has the first down. He's thrown down at about the 47-yard line. Same play 2 times in a row, and they're able to move the chains.
And the good thing about this is technically a forward pass because you see Swan pitches it forward. So if he fumbles it, it's very safe play. If he fumbles it, it's just simply an incomplete pass. Very safe but effective play.
Fresh set of downs for the Royals. They lead 32-21 here in the second quarter. And a fumble on the play. Ball is loose. And the Royals did recover it. It bounced right off the chest of Zach Arnold, but he was able to recover.
Yeah, I think it's just one of these deals where he's got his eyes on the defense, and it's really the quarterback's job to put it in his belly, but it's also his job to make sure he has a nice wide pocket. And I think he just had so much focus on the defense that he literally forgot to take the football with him.
They're able to recover. No gain. 2nd and 10 for the Royals. Under 4 minutes to play till halftime. Swan throws it out. And a spin around move, but then immediately dropped. Was Zach Arnold once again.
A really nice open field tackle there by number 52. That's Liam Okett.
And a loss of about 2 or 3 on the play. 3rd and long for Eastern Hancock. So both teams, we had explosive plays, and now last couple possessions for both teams have kind of been a little more quiet here in the second quarter. 3rd and 13. Swan looking to throw. Downfield, and it was tipped and incomplete. Robert Porter getting his hands on that one to deflect the pass.
Yeah, and normally I would have said earlier, this has got to slow down. I mean, but I was beginning to wonder because this thing was getting out of hand offensively. And you're right, Porter does a nice job of defending that. Coach Armstrong now faced with a 4th and about 13. We'll see. They've lined up to go for it.
They're up by 11 with 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Swan in the shotgun like he has been all night. Takes the snap, looks to throw, downfield, and it's over the head of J.P. Fox, incomplete, and another turnover on downs.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised there. I would have, if I'm a head coach, I would have tried to punt it deep and with just 3 minutes to go, force them to go the length of the field. Now, again, you could argue back, well, they can go the length of the field in one play by giving it to 22. I get that, but you know what? We got defensive players whose job it is to tackle him too. So instead of giving it to him at midfield, I would have tried to punt it down and make them go 70 yards instead of 52.
So Knightstown will take over right around midfield. They trail 32-21 with under 3 to play here in the first half. They pitch it to Walsh, and he will be met at the line of scrimmage by a big pile of Royals.
And the Panthers have got an opportunity here. They need to kind of hustle up to the line. I know there's about 2:40-some to go, but you're still 51 yards away. I'm a little surprised that they're huddling, and I'm a little surprised just how slowly they're doing it. There needs to be a little bit more urgency here. We have an opportunity to put some points on the board. We need to get up there and get it done. They're huddling almost 15 yards from the ball. Well, now, again, that takes 3 seconds, just running up there. That's just little things that coaches look at on film and say, guys, we got to fix this.
2nd and 9. Handoff. Walsh coming on the near side. Turns the corner, has a couple blockers, but he is brought down again. And it was Garrett Friesen, the senior, with the tackle.
Well, Nick's a little slow to get up, but I don't think he's hurt. Honestly, I think he's exhausted. He's just tired.
He plays offense, he plays defense, he's their punter.
Right, he's not hurt. I think they're sending him off. You can see the official there pointing to him, and he's saying, check him out. He's not hurt, he's just tired. But great job by the Royal defense here. This is just continue to pursue. Use the sideline as that 12th defender. The last thing you want, and we've seen it twice already tonight, you don't want him to plant his foot and go north because if he does, he's gone. Yeah. So you just got to keep stringing him out, and then Knightstown's going to take a timeout, maybe to avoid Nick missing that play. We'll see.
You see a lot of Panthers with their helmets off, they're getting water, and then you got Nick Walsh with his helmet still on saying, hey, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, I've seen this. I don't know the exact rule on when the officials order a player off to be examined, whether you can take a timeout in that situation. I know, like, let's say the kid is kind of injured, maybe his ankle's a little, and before the officials blow it dead, you as a coach can say, can I get a timeout? And then he does not have to come out of the game because you took the timeout before the official blew the injury timeout. So we'll see how they rule this.
So you get a good look at Nick Walsh and the rest of the Panthers. Walsh with all 3 touchdowns for Knightstown here tonight. In the first half, they trail 32-21. Both teams explosive on offense in the first quarter and the early stages of the second quarter. But like we said, Jim, it's kind of slowed down. It's kind of quieted down a little bit over the last couple of possessions for both teams.
Well, the defensive coordinators have started to come up with some answers. Basically, if you're going to line up like this and do that, then we're going to line up like this and do this. So give credit to both defensive coordinators for coming up with answers. That's really what this game is. It's all about adjustments. If you're going to do this, I got to do that.
So Walsh will stay on the sidelines. Coming out of the timeout, 3rd and long for the Panthers. Just over 2 minutes to play. Richmond looking to throw, still looking, now rolls to his right, throws on the move, and it is picked off at the 35-yard line. Chase Settergren with the interception.
Defensive stops. I mean, I didn't think I'd say that all night. I was getting ready to put that phrase in my pocket. Really good job, though, by Settergren. Good pressure by the Royal D-line. They're only rushing 3. And makes a nice sliding catch right in front of the receiver. Looks like it's the old John Madden, 1 knee equals 2 feet. And if you get 1 knee in, you're in bounds. And, of course, in high school, you only need 1 foot in anyway.
Settergren with his first interception on defense here this year. As for quarterback Chase Richmond, that is his 6th INT of the year. So the Royals will take over once again, and now the whistles blow, and it looks like we'll have another timeout. So another turnover. Second of the night for Knightstown. Gives Eastern Hancock the ball with just under 2 minutes to play until halftime, up 32-21.
Well, and that is, I think, the 3rd and final. I heard the PA man say that it was the 3rd and final for Knightstown. I think that's just Coach Montgomery taking a timeout, and again, he's just going to water his kids. He's going to remind them to stay deep, although I've been calling games all year long, high school and Anderson University, and I can't tell you how many times in this situation, 1:55 to go, how in the world does a guy get totally behind the entire secondary? It's like, good gosh, fellas, you got to back up. What do you think they're going to do, run a dive? There's less than 2 minutes to go. They got to go 60 yards. You may want to back up a little bit.
So we'll see what the Royals do here. They've already had a couple of big-time plays for touchdowns tonight. A 55-yard touchdown pass from Swan to Sotelo in the first quarter. A 43-yard touchdown run by Zach Arnold here in the second quarter. A throw across the middle is complete to Cole Rainbolt. Pickup of just a few. Second down for the Royals as that clock continues to roll.
Yeah, and if you're Knightstown, again, that was great. You play back, they throw underneath you, you run up there and you make the tackle. And there's a whole bunch of those between there and the goal line. You're not giving up anything. Stay back, play smart football.
2nd and 8. Houston Swan in the shotgun, takes the snap. Looking to his left, launching downfield. It is caught. It's Rainbolt down the sideline. There he goes. Touchdown, Eastern Hancock.
Yeah, I wish I would have thought to say something about staying deep. I blame myself for that. How does that happen? I mean, there's less than 2 minutes to go, guys. I mean, you got to, and I'm sure Coach Montgomery does coach his kids. Sometimes you just got to say, fellas, nobody gets behind you. He gets behind everybody.
68 yards to the house. Cole Rainbolt, his 4th touchdown of the season. And the Royals add to their lead here in the first half.
Yeah, the only break I'll give is to number 6, Ben Brown, who was playing basically center field. He just couldn't get the angle on it.
And they'll go for 2 once again. Olivo carry up the middle, and he is in. The Royals are rolling here in the second quarter. It's now 40-21.
No, nice job. Again, Victor is not the biggest kid on the field, but he certainly keeps his feet running there. And, I guess if anything, if you're going to call assisting the runner, you would have called it there because he actually, one of the offensive linemen actually pushed Olivo, but no call, and it counts as 2 points. And that's a big deal, too. Every time you score a touchdown, if you can get that 2-point conversion, you're putting tremendous pressure on the other team.
Yeah.
I mean, now they're chasing points.
The Eastern Hancock marching band getting ready to perform at halftime. We still got just over a minute left here in the first half, but what a first half it has been for Eastern Hancock and their offense. An 11-yard touchdown pass from Swan to Fox to start this game. Then a 55-yard touchdown pass from Swan to Sotelo. It was 16-13 after one. Victor Olivo with a 1-yard touchdown rush. Zach Arnold with a 43-yard touchdown. And now Cole Rainbolt with the 68-yard reception to the house. Big play after big play for the Royals. Again, Jim, you said first one to 40. I think you were talking about to win, not necessarily the first half.
No.
Fields with the return for Knightstown, and he is going to be brought down just outside the 20.
Yeah, that's Wes Kane again, and they've called his name 2 or 3 times on these kickoff returns. And if your kickoff team can get down there like this and make plays, you keep kicking it deep. There would have been some people probably that might have thought, well, again, you don't want to run the risk of them returning it, so do that deep squib, kick it down to the 30. But Coach Armstrong's had good success with his kickoff coverage, so he went on ahead and kicked it deep, and it paid off.
Knightstown will start at the 21-yard line. Now trailing 40-21. Here's Walsh with the carry. Going to pick up a few before he's dropped at the 25.
Well, more importantly for Eastern and Knightstown both, but he dropped inbounds, and Knightstown has no timeout, so the clock will roll. Again, just good, really good pursuit. You see a lot of blue shirts at the football, and all they're doing is stringing it out. That's been their adjustment. They're saying, you know what, fellas, we're not going to play inside out. We're going to play basically outside in. You got to get outside and force him back because we got help coming back, but you can't let him beat you outside.
2nd and 6 for the Panthers. Newby with the carry across the 30, across the 35, picks up the first down for the Panthers as he's tackled right around the 37. And now hurry up for Knightstown. Richmond looking to throw. It is complete on the far side. First down and more across midfield. And that was Max Muncy with the reception for the Panthers.
Well, you want to keep him in front of you. And in high school, the clock will stop when the changer's set, but he'll roll it here in a second.
2.5 seconds left until halftime. Looking to throw again. Scoreboard's at zeros. Launch downfield. It will be incomplete, and that will end the first half. My goodness. What a fun 2 quarters we've had so far.
There's a flag on the play at the end. I think one of the Knightstown players must have said something. Oh, I don't think so. It came well after that. It's not going to be roughing the passer. It's a personal foul. It's an unsportsmanlike conduct, and Coach Montgomery's asking basically what he's saying is, what did he say? Now, this will be assessed on the kickoff at the second half.
So the referee taking some time to talk it over with Coach Montgomery.
Yeah, you see the flag on the 45-yard line. If it was roughing the passer, it would be on the other 45.
Right.
Plus, I saw him indicate the unsportsmanlike, and you'll see it here.
So, yeah, looks like it was a matter of someone saying something as they left the field. And they will, like you said, Jim, probably assess it. They're going to talk with Coach Armstrong now to see what they want to do. Although both teams are already to the locker room, so
well,
they'll probably have to take that penalty to start the second half.
Yeah, it looks like, and I believe Knightstown kicked off to start the game, correct?
Correct.
So then Eastern Hancock will be kicking off from the Knightstown side of the 45, or the 50, I'm sorry, which is an excellent spot to onside. You might as well. I mean, because even if you don't get it, they get the ball to 35. Every time we always got that penalty on a play after a touchdown, or in this case at the end of the half, I always onside kick because you're kicking from the 45. If the kid kicks it in the end zone, they're going to get it at the 20. So that's not much. Yeah, you might as well. I mean, the worst you can do is 10 yards if they get it at the 35.
Something to look out for when we start the second half. Your halftime score, Eastern Hancock 40, Knightstown 21. We'll be back on 9 Star TV.
In the Pac-12, it's all about the fight. The enemy has a beat on you, so you bear down with clenched teeth. Without warning, you unleash a stampede. You fight for your pride. You fight for your colors. You fight on to live another day. Pac-12 football on FS1 or watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app.
Welcome back to Eastern Hancock High School. Rob Conant, Jim Leisure back with you here as we get ready for the second half of tonight's contest. It's Eastern Hancock 40, Knightstown 21. Jim, what a fantastic first two quarters we've had here tonight.
Yeah, lots and lots of fireworks, and I mean that literally and figuratively, as every time the Royals score, there's fireworks. Here is Nick Walsh on one of his long runs off the left side, just great downfield blocking, and this kid just explodes.
74 yards in that second quarter, one of 3 rushing touchdowns that Nick Walsh had in that first half. He has all the points for Knightstown here in tonight's game. Then you look at Eastern Hancock. They have scored 5 touchdowns and have converted 5 two-point conversions as well. And how about the quarterback, Houston Swan, connecting on this play in the first half. Cole Rainbolt with that 68-yard touchdown reception in the second quarter. Swan with 3 touchdowns through the air. Fox with an 11-yard touchdown reception. Sotelo with a 55-yard touchdown reception. Rainbolt with that 68-yard touchdown reception. And then you have Arnold on this 43-yard touchdown rush in the second half. And add into the mix, Victor Olivo also had a 1-yard touchdown rush in that first half. So 40 points on the board for Eastern Hancock in the first half. And just to put that into comparison, Jim, their season high in a game this year is 48 twice.
Yeah.
They have 40 at halftime here tonight.
Well, I think Coach Armstrong and Coach Gallion, the offensive coordinator for Eastern Hancock, may have found themselves another weapon because Arnold was really not listed as one of the leading rushers. In fact, he didn't really even make the board here in terms of the stat board.
Yeah.
And but I really like the way the kid runs, and they've gone to him a couple different times. Once on the long touchdown, I believe on one of the 2-point conversions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, it's always nice when about week 4 or 5 you find that kid that you weren't sure was ready for varsity competition, and then all of a sudden you find out he is, and that's a nice addition.
And we talk about some other guys that have played in the first half that have kind of made some noise. How about the second running back for Knightstown, Ben Newby, the junior, just missed a touchdown on that run in the first half. That set up the 1-yard touchdown run for Nick Walsh. But Ben Newby has been seeing his name called a lot on the rushing game for Knightstown here tonight as well.
Yeah, I like the way Newby runs, and here's one of Walsh here off the right side. This was early in the ball game. I think might be the first touchdown. And he just, again, you see that changing of gears, that explosion that good kids have, and bad kids like me wish they did. But yeah, Again, Knightstown all night long has been in that shotgun formation, but it's 2 backs, and not totally uncommon. But a lot of teams only run single backs, a la Eastern. Eastern generally only has the 1 back in the backfield. Coach Montgomery at Knightstown realizes, you know what, I got basically two weapons, and you got to defend them both. And you're going to see, and you've seen it already in the first half, some crisscross, some fakes here and gives there, but you'll also see some ISOs where just a snap and one guy lead blocks on linebacker, give to the tailback. You could also maybe see some quarterback leads here, where with two backs, quarterback takes a snap, both backs lead him around the corner or lead him up the middle. So that is one positive of the shotgun formation, is that your quarterback actually becomes a running back.
We had a couple of injuries in that first half as well. James Lukens for Knightstown was taken off very slowly. He was down for about 5 minutes, and we're still not sure what it was. We haven't gotten any word on what it was, but they were kind of keeping his shoulder and collarbone in place as he walked off the field in that first half. And then for Eastern Hancock, their big guy on the defense, Tyler Vandervliet, got rolled up on in that first half. No word on him either. We'll keep an eye to see if either of those guys are back in the second half. Knightstown will kick off. It has been the Nick Walsh show for the Panthers, running the ball and kicking the ball. A short kick to start the second half, and it will be recovered near the 40-yard line. They're going to scramble for it. Knightstown says they got it, and they're going to check it out to see who actually recovered this ball.
They got to unpile it here. Knightstown ball.
It is Knightstown ball.
Well, I'm a little
Let's take a look at this.
It's a short kick, but it takes a Knightstown bounce and comes back toward the kicking team.
It was touched by Eastern Hancock, then the ball came loose. That is a free ball.
Yeah, it would have been a free ball anyway. Free kick that goes 10 yards and hits the ground is just like an onside kick.
And so Knightstown will take over. So how about that?
Big break for the Panthers here.
So the Panthers, trailing 40-21, will get the ball to start the second half. And so Knightstown will start near the 40-yard line. They'll give it to Newby on the first play. Check that, it was 22. That's actually Nick Walsh once again. Again, we have been calling his name a lot here tonight. 3 rushing touchdowns. One went for 56. Another one went for 74 in that first half, rather. And he gets the handoff to start the second half, a gain of about 5.
Well, we may see a third quarter similar to the first quarter. I think some of the defensive assistance was the fact that both teams were, I think, a little tired. Both teams are fresh now, coming out of the locker room. We'll see if the offensive explosion continues.
Richmond looking to throw. He's launching downfield, has a receiver. It is caught. It is a touchdown. Max Muncy. Second play of the second half, and Knightstown finds the end zone.
Really nice ball there by the quarterback. I mean, he doesn't have the greatest throwing motion, but he certainly delivers a pass here. Good blocking, good pocket, and just delivers it right over the shoulder. Could not be drawn up any better than that.
Chase Richmond, the junior, his 5th passing touchdown of the season. And for Max Muncy, his first receiving touchdown of the year. And now it looks like Knightstown will try the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and they're allowed to put the ball wherever they want it between the hash marks, and they've chosen the left hash mark.
So it's Richmond in the backfield along with Nick Walsh trying for 2. Richmond rolls to his right, looking to throw, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Robert Porter. So the 2-point conversion is no good. But Knightstown, they recover the kickoff. And 2 plays later, they find the end zone. It's now 40-27.
Yeah, not really an onside kick. It was just one of those kind of short pooch kicks. And again, if you're Eastern Hancock's return team, you got to move those guys up. And you cannot let that ball hit the ground. Footballs that hit the ground have a tendency to take really nasty bounces. So we'll see who kicks off, as Knightstown has had a couple different people kicking off. And we'll see how they choose to approach it.
Maybe they can kick off and return again.
Yeah, this is it. It's going to be Nick Walsh again. So he has not kicked it deep. You look on his stats on max preps, and you don't see long kickoffs. Again, if I'm Eastern Hancock, I bring all those guys up. I put the second group on the 40 and bring the other group to the 25.
So Walsh to kick off again. This time puts a little more mustard into it. It is returned from the 29-yard line. And it was J.P. Fox with the return close to the 40-yard line. So Eastern Hancock will get their first possession of the second half. And here comes J.P. Fox. Had a touchdown reception in that first half. Houston Swan, the sophomore quarterback, with 3 touchdowns through the air in the first 2 quarters. They'll hand it off. It's Zach Arnold, but he's going to be brought down in the backfield. A loss of 1 on the play.
Good job by number 70, Sam Thomas there. He just bust through the line and was able to run him down from behind. Really good effort from the big kid. Looks like he's going to line up right over the center. He may be one shaded one way or the other. But again, this is that 3-3, 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers. Now they're going to walk a linebacker up and give you a 4-man look.
Swan takes the snap, looks to throw, and he is going to be taken down for the sack. Houston Swan brought down in the backfield.
So number 84, the big defensive end there. Max Muncie's the first one there. No, he wasn't there, but he got there, but was able to force him into the big fella, Sam Thomas. And
so a 3rd and 20 situation now from the 30-yard line. Although in the shotgun, Swan back at the 25. Takes the snap. 3rd and long, going to throw downfield. It is caught at the 50-yard line, and on the move it is once again Zach Arnold. What a game he has had here tonight.
yeah, that's just one of those deals where you found a kid that is a varsity football player, and they're going to keep going to him until Knightstown can adjust.
A 30-yard reception for Arnold, and now a handoff for Olivo.
He was tackled by 16, DeAndre Rose, the defensive end outside linebacker. Nice job of closing on a down block and running it down from behind.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9 now for Eastern Hancock, leading 40-27 here in the 3rd. Swan throws again. It is caught once again on the near side. This time it was J.P. Fox with the reception.
Yeah, both teams, like I said, they're well rested. This third quarter is going to look a lot like the first quarter.
Again, it's been the passing game that has worked for Eastern Hancock tonight and all season long. Swan pitches it this time. On the near side, it's Cole Rainbolt with the carry. Didn't get very far, though, and a flag was thrown on the play.
Oh, no indication yet, but again, it's in the position where it's either going to be a hold or a face mask.
And they're marking it forward, so it's a face mask against Knightstown. Again, that is something we've talked about all night long, Jim, something that Coach Montgomery mentioned to us earlier tonight when we were talking to him during pregame warm-ups. Penalties has really hurt Knightstown all season long. And a big one there. Fresh set of downs for the Royals. Swan looking to throw. He's going to find to the corner of the end zone. It is through the hands of Caden Sotelo. He almost had his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Well, pretty well defended. It looked like it was Mason Fields back there, number 18 from here. It's kind of hard. This is the furthest corner of the field from where we're at. Without my binoculars, it's hard to tell. But pretty good defense. He got just back there enough to disrupt him. So that was, in fact, Fields. Yeah, we talked about penalties. Some of them as a coach, like that little face mask. I mean, that's just an aggressive. You're trying to make a play, and your hand caught the headgear, but you didn't pull it. You didn't yank it. It's not the personal foul, 15-yard. I can live with those. That's just a kid trying to make a tackle. But some of the other ones, the holdings, and you got to clean that up.
2nd down after the incompletion. They'll pitch it. Fox on the run, has a block, cuts across, and he's brought down just shy of the goal line. First down for J.P. Fox.
Well, again, almost a great play by number 8 there for Knightstown, Landon Carmichael, but he almost disrupted that little shovel pass.
First and goal from the 2. Throw out to the near side, trying to dive for the end zone, but the ball came loose. It's picked up by Fox, and he is marked down inches short of the goal line.
Well, you've heard me say it all night long, but the rules on Sundays are much different than the rules on Saturdays and much different than the rules on Friday night. In the NFL, an offensive player is not allowed to advance an offensive fumble. You can, however, in high school. So had Fox picked this thing up and gotten into the end zone, it would have counted as a score. I'm not sure that he didn't, because it
looked like he hit that pylon.
Yeah.
Instead, they ruled him just short, so it's now second and goal from about 6 inches away.
But again, we're going to snap it 5 yards deep. I don't understand why you don't get under center and just score.
Swan in the shotgun, looking to throw to the corner, and it's off the outstretched arms of J.P. Fox, brings up third and goal.
Well defended there by Robert Porter. That's another name that we've called over and over tonight. The big 6'1", 170 junior, wide receiver DB. I'm old-fashioned. I like an old-fashioned power running game, and I, from third and goal from the 6-inch line.
You got Olivo there in the backfield. This time they will give it to Olivo. Going to the goal line. He is waiting for the signal. In, touchdown, Eastern Hancock. Victor Olivo with his second rushing touchdown of the night.
Well, and Eastern will go ahead and go for 2 here. So if you're trading 2-point conversions, Knightstown scored early, did not get their 2-point conversion. We'll see if Eastern Hancock does. If they do, again, going to put a ton of pressure on the Knightstown coaches.
Looking to make it 48. They'll hand it off to Olivo. I don't know if he got it that time. They ruled him short. So for the first time tonight, Eastern Hancock does not convert the 2-point conversion, but the fireworks go off anyway because they did find the end zone for the touchdown. And the Royals now lead 46-27 with just over 8 minutes to play here in the third.
Well, we've seen it all night where Eastern has kicked deep and they were able to go down and cover, and we'll see if they continue to do that. Fox has been the kicker. He's got a nice leg. Again, he's been carrying the 15-yard line back to the 10 at times. And again, field position's a big deal. Knightstown does not have quite the leg on their kicker. And whereas Eastern Hancock has been starting a lot of drives near midfield because of the lack of a kicker for Knightstown, this is a decent weapon for Eastern.
Again, Eastern Hancock, their season high is 48. They're at 46 right now. Not even halfway through the third quarter. Trying to get some revenge. They lost to these Knightstown Panthers last year, 21-6. Believe it or not, they were only able to score 6 points in that game. Walsh will return it from inside the 20, and he will keep moving across the 30 to the 35 to the 40, still on his feet. Finally taken down out of bounds near midfield. What a return for Nick Walsh.
What a player. I mean, that's just a kid that just gets it. And, there's a lot of guys who play football, and then there's football players. And Nick Walsh is a football player. You watch him bounce out of this on the replay. We had great camera angle. The other angle was kind of behind him. You're going to see him bounce out of this thing. He's wrapped up right
1,
there.
2.
And he just keeps his legs churning, and off we go.
3, 4.
Yeah.
Look at all the tackles he breaks before he's finally taken out of bounds just shy of midfield. So Knightstown, once again, they trail big, though, here in the third quarter. It's Newby with the carry, and he is met up in the backfield.
Yeah, he had nowhere to go there. You see 3 blue shirts right there. And, again, Eastern's been pretty consistent there. They have a 3-man front, three down linemen. You see it there with their hands on the ground. Knightstown's been mixing it up. They've been giving the Eastern offensive line a 3-man front, a 4-man front. They're doing that, obviously, to try to confuse them. As offensive linemen, you're going to make certain calls based on a 3-man front as you would different calls on a 4-man front. It changes your blocking schemes, and they're obviously trying to confuse them a little bit.
2nd and 11. They fake the handoff. Richmond looking to go deep downfield, and it is. Did he catch it? No, he was out of bounds, but a flag was thrown.
Well,
or was it?
He wasn't. I don't know what this guy's doing. The back judge has got the flag in his hand. Now he's signaling incomplete pass. I think, wow.
He went to.
Yes, and then I think he thought the kid caught the ball. So then he thought, okay, what's the point, right? Well, if it's there, throw the flag. You see him take it out. He starts to throw it, but he thinks that the receiver catches the ball, so he goes, whatever. You can't do that. That's poor officiating. Throw the flag, and then if the kid catches it, you decline it.
Was it also the fact that were they already out of bounds?
No, that's not a high school rule. All that non-catchable stuff, that doesn't apply on Friday night. That's just bad officiating.
So an incomplete pass, 3rd and long, and they're going to hand it off. Newby coming to the near side, turns the corner across midfield, and he is wrapped up by Connor Schultz at about the 45.
Very slow developing play there, but enough for Knightstown to pick up, about 5 or 6 there? Yeah.
So it'll be 4th and about 3 or 4.
Yeah, and in this kind of ball game, obviously, with the lack of a real kicking game, you got to go for it here. The good news is, again, you have your whole playbook because it's just 4 yards. You could run it. You could throw it. You could run a screen. Lots of different things that the Royal defense has to be ready for.
About halfway through this 3rd quarter. 4th and 4 for Knightstown. They'll hand it off to Walsh. Trying to get to that first down marker. He's not going to get it. He was stopped short by the Eastern Hancock defense.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good spot. I mean, he may have gotten a little bit further. I do not think he got to the sticks. Well, they're not even spotting it right. You have the head linesman who's all the way back here, and they've spotted the ball up by the 45.
And it looked like he might have been about a yard short looking at that replay. So turnover on downs, and you heard the roar of the Eastern Hancock faithful as the Royals will get the ball back again, already up 46-27.
Yeah, the head linesman's got the spot. That guy on the far end of the field has been standing right there the whole time. They originally had it over here by the 45. That's about where he got to.
Yeah. Good spot. They'll put it at about the 43.
Yeah, they originally tried to put it up there by the 45, which would have been a horrible spot. They fixed it, but now there's confusion. The chains are not set.
They're going to measure this.
Oh, come on.
I'm not exactly sure why this is needed.
Yeah, they don't have – the coach can ask you to measure it. It's a yard short.
Not sure if Coach Montgomery asked for.
Well, I'm sure he did, but the officials don't have to give it to him.
Yeah,
it's almost like in baseball where you ask the umpire, can you appeal to first? Did he swing? The umpire can say no. I got the call, and it's over. That was just 20 seconds of our life we'll never get back.
And that referee was kind of emphatic.
Yeah, he
showed
was.
The Knightstown sideline. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
So Eastern Hancock will take over. Oh, it looked like it might have been a trick play. They throw it to the near side. And the completion to 25. That is Landon O'Neill, the sophomore.
Yep, this is going to be a double pass. This is a lateral. It's a backward pass. He's clearly behind the quarterback. He was setting up to throw.
Yeah.
Obviously, Knightstown defended it well.
And now referees. We're going to have an injury. They're going to send Hunter Knudsen over to the Eastern Hancock sideline, get him checked out.
Could be a lot of things, again, with the emphasis on concussions. And it could just be blood on his jersey or his pants, too. They got to get him out of the ball game if there's blood on their pants. Every team, I think, now travels with extra pants, extra jerseys.
So there's no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for the Royals. Fake the handoff, and the pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. How about DeAndre Rose, the 6'1 junior?
Well, again, just what we talked about earlier, doing what you're coached to do. You're rushing the passer. When you see his front hand come off the ball, you realize you can't get there. Jump. What do you got to lose? You're not going to get there anyway, so take a shot.
Looked like he was blocking a pass in basketball. So 3rd and long now for the Royals. Swan looking to throw across the middle. Diving grab made by J.P. Fox. We'll have to see where they mark him.
Fox may be hurt.
J.P. Fox, yep. Quickly.
Looks like a cramp from the way the trainer's attacking it. Good spot there by the umpire. Was in great position. He has it. You'll see him point to the ground immediately. He knows where the ball is.
Let's see if we have a good angle at where he caught this. That's going to be close. He might have gotten that first down. Great job by our camera guys as we look at this replay. That's going to be close.
Yeah, great job of the guys in the truck, too. But so now this one you may measure. That other one. Good heavens.
So they're going to work on J.P. Fox after he caught that. He immediately signaled to his leg to look like he cramped up. You see the trainers working on him. And he's going to be all right.
Well, this time of year, it's still important that your kids are hydrated, and you got to water them up all week long. If the teachers allow them to have a bottle of water in class, they just need to have water all the time. You can't drink a gallon of water before the game. That's not going to do. It's not going to be enough.
And they will bring out the chains to measure this. It's either 4th and short or a fresh set of downs. We'll see where they spot it.
I'm a little confused as to why they're taking the other chain back. All you got to do is take it from the 50.
And he is short by that much. So again, going back to your point that you've been talking about all night long, Jim, Swan has been in the shotgun 5 yards behind, and I'm assuming they're going to keep him in the shot. He's been there the whole night. But in this situation, why do you not put him right up against the center?
I don't know, again, because
now you're making it about 4th and 5.
Absolutely. From the very snap, from the second the ball is snapped, it's 4th and 5.
In the shotgun, Swan hands it off up the middle, and getting the first down and more is Garrett Friesen. First time we've called his name on offense here tonight, and he keeps the drive alive for the Royals.
Well, the Royals didn't start out with a lot of guys going both ways. They only had like 3 guys, but now Coach Armstrong, it's kind of getting toward clutch time here. He's putting some of his two-way kids in the ballgame.
Big pickup there by Garrett Friesen, the senior. And now another handoff up the middle. Friesen again.
And again, obviously the way to play the game is to 2 platoon. Ideally, they play it that way in the NFL. They play it that way in college. They play it that way at the major high school. Everybody plays one way.
Friesen again up the middle. Across the 25, and a first down for the Royals.
But certainly in single and double A football, to continue a thought, you just don't have that luxury. You've got to put your best players in the ballgame at some point. And Coach kept Friesen out the whole first half, but now he said, all right, son, time to go out there and be a senior, time to go out and be a leader.
Not much of a rusher. Wasn't in the top 4 coming into tonight for Eastern Hancock, but he's getting a lot of carries here. A 4th straight carry for Friesen, and another big pickup there as he moves across the 20. So how about Garrett Friesen? He's the leader on defense for Eastern Hancock this year, but getting a big majority of the plays here on this offensive possession. This time they'll throw. Swan. And it is incomplete. And flags flying all over the place.
Yeah, I think the defender just got there a little bit early. If you see on the replay, you're going to see his head snap back like he's been involved in a whiplash car accident. That tells you right there that the contact was too early. Watch his head.
It was Sotelo, the intended receiver. Yep.
Pretty easy call. Both officials got it.
So the flag against Knightstown. We'll move it forward for Eastern Hancock, getting closer to that end zone. They lead 46-27. 4.5 to play here in the third quarter. So they're taking seems like
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
used to big plays and possessions ending like that in a snap of a finger, but this has been a long, continuing process for Eastern Hancock on offense, and now the throw incomplete. Sotelo, the intended receiver, once again.
Yeah, this might be the only sustained drive really from either team all night. It's just been big play after big play. But if you're Eastern, of course, that's what you want. When you're winning the ball game, you want to go on long drives. You want to use 7-8 minutes of the clock.
Threw it behind Sotelo as you look on that replay. Brings up 2nd and goal from about the 8-yard line. Swan looking to throw to the end zone, and it's over the head of Sotelo. 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, I think that was one of those deals where you get a young sophomore quarterback who just basically predetermines on the snap who he's throwing to, because if he'd have looked at Frierson out of the backfield, he's wide open. He could have just dumped the ball down, check it down, as you hear him say on Sunday, and probably would have scored. But again, young quarterbacks sometimes, they have their favorite receivers. They have kids that they've got confidence in, and that's what he did there.
And we haven't really mentioned a lot tonight how young this offense is for Eastern Hancock. Your quarterback's a sophomore. Some of your top rushers are sophomores and juniors. Swan looking to throw to the end zone. He had a receiver open, but he overthrew it, and it's now 4th and goal.
Yeah, again, honestly, you hate to pick on a young man because he's a really, really good player, but he's also got a running lane where he could just score.
Yeah, look
just
at how wide
off.
open that was, yeah.
A senior drops back, and he sees that open and like the Red Sea, and he just takes off. And again, just basically overthrows. The kid was wide open. He just couldn't deliver in football.
4th and goal for the Royals. Swan with Friesen in the backfield. Swan looking to throw. He got hit as he was thrown, and it's picked off by the Panther defense. Ben Brown with the interception.
Well, once again, a great defensive stand by the Knightstown defense. Great pressure here. Nice legal hit on the quarterback. No, helmet to helmet or any of that stuff. Just a really good football play on the pressure. And then, you get the pick. It wouldn't have mattered because even if he had not picked it off, they'd have got the ball at the 4-yard line or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So pretty much a push there, but a great defensive stand by the Knightstown defense. Now the question is, can their offense keep them off the field? They need to go on a long drive.
Yeah. Inside the 10 is where they start. And a handoff to Walsh as he works the right side. Looking to turn the corner as he does, and he will be wrapped up at about the 16-yard line.
Now, don't get me wrong. You'll take an 80-yard run by Walsh here if you can get it. But realistically, your defense needs to rest. And, again, I don't know exactly how many guys play both ways for Knightstown, but I assume some of them are over there right now getting some water.
So Walsh with the carry. He has 3 of the 4 touchdowns tonight for Knightstown, all on the ground, including that 74-yard burst in the first half. Richmond looking to throw, and it is complete on the far sideline. First down for Max Muncie.
A nice little pitch and catch there for the first down. Just a little comeback route where, again, you're going to tell your receiver to drive off the football, drive the defender deep, then just plant your foot and come back and catch it. Make sure that when you catch it, you're beyond the stick so that, no matter what, even if you get tackled there, and he was hit pretty quickly, we at least get the first down. If you can spin out of it, great. We'll take that yard after catch, yak as everybody calls it. But first and foremost, make sure you get the first down.
So fresh set of downs for Knightstown. They trail 46-27 here in the late stages of the third quarter. Handoff to Walsh on the near side this time. Turns the corner, breaks one tackle, and then he's brought down from behind, and a flag comes flying in at the end.
Well, it did look a little bit like the back of his jersey was pulled, and I don't know whether it was the collar. If it was, of course, that'll be horse collar.
And it looks like Robert Porter, the wide receiver, was slow to get up for Knightstown as well.
Yeah, it's okay to grab his shirt from behind. You can't grab the inside of his collar or his shoulder pad.
So the referees will discuss, and we'll see what the call is here. And we had 2 penalties,
Yeah.
one on each team, and they will offset.
Yeah, the official did that backwards. He called the block in the back on the defense. He called the horse collar right there on the offense.
We knew what he meant.
Yeah. Just got a little confused there. The block in the back goes on the offense. The horse collar goes on the defense.
Yeah. Just over 3 minutes to play here in the third. First down for Knightstown, but they trail by 19. And another carry on the far side. It was Walsh once again. How about Nick Walsh again on the season coming into tonight? 178 rushing yards per game.
Well, he's got to be getting close to that right now, I would think. I mean, when you can sit and you add in the long run, he's well over 100.
Yeah. Gain of 7 on that play, 2nd and 3. Richmond looking to throw this time, and it is caught on the far sideline once again. It was Max Muncy with the reception and another first down.
Well, again, that kind of short little comeback route where, again, you see him at the top of the screen. He drives the defensive back, then he plants his foot and comes back. He's pretty much wide open. It's hard to defend. The question is an offense patient enough to continue to run it? If they are, the defense eventually will start coming up. Then you can run the hitch and go where, he hitches, you fake it to him, and then you just send him deep and throw it up and let the big kid catch it.
1st and 10 at the 40. They'll hand it off. Walsh escapes one, but brought down by a second in the backfield. It was Chase Settergren with the tackle.
Settergren, I guess, is one of the few seniors, really, that plays a lot for Eastern.
One of the top defenders came in with 7 tackles for loss. Picks up another one there. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Hand off to Walsh. And he picks up about 4 on the play as he gets close to that 45-yard line.
Very patient runner. You see Nick just kind of take the football and almost about 3/4 speed. He's just looking for some kind of seam, some kind of gap. And then obviously at some point you got to just go north with it. You're going to run out of bounds. But look how patient he is there. He's just kind of looking. Then he sees it and he goes. And he's able to get 3 or 4.
3rd and about 6. From the 45-yard line, Knightstown trailing under a minute to play here in the third. 46-27 Eastern Hancock going downfield, and it is out of bounds, incomplete. There was a flag thrown on the play.
Yeah, I think they're going to say that basically what amounts to defensive holding, defensive pass interference are kind of the same thing. They're saying that the Eastern defensive back, I think, impeded the receiver. I'll tell you what. Richmond just got lit up after he delivered that. Again, quickly, full speed, it looked like a clean tackle, but he paid the price. He got hammered. So this is either going to be defensive holding or defensive pass interference, I believe.
The referee is discussing once again. And we'll see what the call is.
That's the illegal man downfield on Knightstown.
And a holding on defense. So again, penalties offset. And they'll bring down 3rd down once again for Knightstown.
Well, I didn't see the lineman downfield, but they did run a little bit of a play action. So sometimes maybe one of the linemen thinks we're actually running the running play, and he gets the linebacker depth.
3rd and 6. 30 seconds to play here in the third. Richmond throws on the run, and it's over the head of everybody, incomplete.
But again, you saw where the receiver was. That's just good, smart football. Go past the sticks. I've seen so many high school kids. It's 3rd and 6, and you run a 4-yard route.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, you catch it, and now it's 4th and 2. The routes are good. The routes are past the sticks, and that's where you want them to be. It was just good coverage by the defense.
Brings up 4th down. And it looks like Knightstown will punt it away. It'll be Nick Walsh to do the honors.
Good spot for a fake if he does.
And he gets it away. Wobbly punt will go out of bounds right around the 30-yard line. So we had an explosive first half, Jim. This third quarter has been kind of the opposite.
Well, again, the first 2 possessions, I think, were again, well-rested kids. But at this point, attrition and conditioning start to become a factor here. Coming out of the break, everybody's rested, everybody's watered, we're all ready to go. But then very quickly, your body reminds you, hey, dude, you've taken 80 snaps so far. All right, so we need to back it out a little bit. And I think that's what you're seeing here is a little bit really more conditioning.
And again, you see that if this was a game between a couple schools that were in Class 6A, where you have guys that are playing just offense and guys that are playing just defense, you're going to see more and more energy throughout the second half. Here with these guys, Class 1A, Class 2A, you got guys playing both sides of the ball like you've been talking about.
I think
guys are exhausted.
The plays just look slower. I mean, just both sides of the ball, everything's just a little bit slower.
And it looks like that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. Eastern Hancock with the lead, 46-27. The Royals looking to advance to 4-1. We'll see if they do it. Fourth quarter coming up next on 9-Star TV.
A working mom who brings her best to both roles. A community-owned telecom that connects her home with high-bandwidth fiber optic. Mom can work from home with fast, reliable connectivity and be there when the kids come home. When everyone logs on, the internet connections stay fast and the family stays connected. 9-Star Connect. Community-owned. Community strong.
Welcome back to Eastern Hancock High School. Rob Connett, Jim Leisure with you here as we start the fourth quarter. It is Eastern Hancock leading Knightstown 46-27. Back to action, and the Royals with the ball, and they will hand it off up the middle. And getting a couple of yards on the play was 14. That's Wes Kane, new name into the game. A junior running back for the Royals.
That play basically was made by the big number 77, 6 foot 215 Parker Shock. He didn't make the tackle. I guess the 78 there, as I seen, would put his hand on the ground, but he made the play. 78 would be Aiden Orchid.
Third and short. They'll hand it off again to Kane, and he is met up immediately, but forward progress. He got that first down.
Yeah, he just crosses the white line, which the stick was right on the 40. So once he crosses that, at that point, it's just a matter of where he lands, and it's 1st and 10.
Fresh set of downs for the Royals. Hand it off again. Wes Kane getting to about the 45.
Well, if you're Eastern Hancock here, you want to use a little bit more, I think, of the play clock. One of the things we saw in the Super Bowl a couple of years back was Atlanta had a big lead on the Patriots. They kept snapping the ball with 17 or 18 seconds left, and then obviously when New England scores with little time left in the game, you think, man, if we'd have used about 4 minutes like we should have, they'd have been in the locker room. So if you're Eastern, you want to use a little bit of the shot clock here.
Second and about 7. Handoff to Friesen this time, and he picks up about 5 or 6 on the play.
Very close here again. This is something that you might want to measure if you're Coach Armstrong. Really good surge with that Royal offensive line. You saw the left side guys just destroy them.
Third and short, and flags fly everywhere. I think every single referee on the field threw their flag. Offsides, easy call, and that's why every single referee made that call.
Well, great spot for the hard count. You see a lot of teams, I know in college, they almost always go with a hard count. And they're going to try it every time. And then when they don't get it, then the whole offense turns around and looks at the coach, and gets the play. But they go to the line, and it's going to be a hard count. Set, hit it, all right, just to try to get them to jump. And then when they don't, you get the play. But Coach Armstrong's had that in his pocket all night long and finally decided to take it out.
Fresh set of downs for the Royals. It's Houston Swan, the sophomore, still in at quarterback, still in the shotgun like he has been all night long. And now, just like you said, Jim, right on cue, they're waiting for that play clock. Down to 6, down to 5, then they snap it. Throw to the near side, complete to Zach Arnold. Escapes one tackle across the 40, 35-30, still on the move. Finally brought down by Nick Walsh inside the 25-yard line. What a move and what a night for Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, he's limping a little bit, probably going to come out, but wow, where did this young man come from?
Watch this. Whoop. See you later. And then right here, escapes another one, and then Walsh has to bring him down. Again, Nick Walsh does everything for Knightstown, offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah, and Nick's probably saying, guys, I'm just one guy, man. I can't do it all. I'm going to need a little help.
So first down after the big carry by Zach Arnold. And now Friesen with the carry across the 20, close to the 15-yard line.
Well, conditioning, again, you're seeing that the Royals, at that time it was the right side of the offensive line that just got a huge push and just destroyed the defensive line of Knightstown. And again, if you're Swan, I mean, I don't even get him on the line there. I would just kind of have him stand around. Lyman in that position, in that kind of squat position for 20 seconds, just weakens the leg. So really what I would do is I would say, hey, we're not doing anything until about 12 seconds, and then I'll make my call.
Takes the snap with 7 left on the play clock. Another handoff up the middle. Flag comes flying in as Olivo was the ball carrier on that play.
Well, again, that's a kid whose name we have not seen a lot in the backfield in this whole second half. So coach is just kind of having him rest and then hopefully, again, tell the senior, go in and be a senior.
So we'll see what the flag is.
Yeah,
it looks like a hold.
Yeah, I think it was on number 78 there, yeah. A little bit. Got beat by the defender a little bit and then just kind of grabbed his shirt. Now, honestly, if Eastern Hancock keeps running the football like they're running it, this actually works in their favor. They get an extra yard or an extra play here to use even more time off the clock.
Second and 12 or 13 for the Royals after the penalty. Swan looking to throw across the middle. It is caught across the middle. Landon O'Neill takes it to about the 10-yard line.
It's going to be close to first and goal. We'll see where they actually spot it here.
Great catch once again by Landon O'Neill. Came in with 12 receptions, 171 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns on the season. And once again, the Royals will waste some of that time on the clock, both game clock and play clock. Play clock now at 10. Swan will take the snap with 6. Hand it off once again.
That was Friesen, I believe. And again, you're going to see this on the replay where great job of the nose man. He swims the offensive lineman. He's right there, and he misses. And then this is all Friesen, and then Friesen gets hit again.
Saying, get off of me, and picks up a couple more yards.
That's how football can be a funny game. You as a coach, you look at the film and you show your kid, and you go, gentlemen, we don't block anybody on this play, not one guy, and yet this kid with heart gets us 3 yards.
So the Royals looking to add to their lead. Right now with 46 points. Again, their season high is 48. They pitch it to Cole Rainbolt, and he did not go anywhere on that play. Ball came loose after he was ruled down.
Long after, but Mason Muncie, really nice job there of just kind of shoving that back inside. He's saying, you know what, you're not going to get to the perimeter on us. And this could be another great defensive stand. Knightstown has had 2 goal line defensive stands tonight, and they need a third one here.
So here we go, 3rd and long for Eastern Hancock inside that red zone. Closing in on 6 minutes remaining here in tonight's contest. Swan looking to throw for the end zone, and it's over the hands. It looked like Landon O'Neill was the intended receiver. And good coverage by Robert Porter on that play.
Yeah, again, just a really good football play. Not surprised on the call with a pass. Not worried about the clock, but just good defense. I mean, the ball was, and it's again, not a high school rule, but it wasn't catchable. Not that that mattered in terms of defensive pass interference.
So 4th and goal. Like you mentioned, Jim, Knightstown has had a couple of great goal line stops already tonight. Let's see if they can do it again. Swan looking for the end zone, lobs it up, and it is, did he get that? For the interception.
I think he did, and unfortunately he's going to be down at the 1 yard line.
Oh, man.
That's one of those things where, honestly, you'd have been better off to bat it out of bounds.
Yeah.
But high school kids, you're never going to tell a kid not to get an interception. And this is a big play for a young man. And, you know, ideally he makes a great catch in traffic. He's knocked out of bounds. His feet are there at the 1. His momentum may have carried him into the end zone, but with no replay, that ain't going to happen here.
So Robert Porter with the interception.
So, again, he would have been better off, I think, to knock it down. They'd have got it at the 10, but you can't coach that. That's just that's a kid making a play.
So Knightstown will take over inside their own end zone. Dangerous territory. Walsh looking to get out of the end zone. Did he? Yes, barely. He got it to the 1. That was dangerous.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to give it to somebody, and clearly I'd give it to him, but he gets hit right there. There was a collision that he was able to avoid, and he clearly gets out of the end zone. It was a good call, good spot. You know, again, this is me. I was an offensive line coach, and I know how hard it is to block pressure. I've always told defensive coaches, and they very wisely never listen to me. But in this situation, I would blitz everybody. I would have 3 deep. I'd bring 8, and I'm going to get you in that end zone. You're not getting out on me. And I just think it's a great opportunity for a safety here. This is what they call a band play. You know, at the end of this play, somebody's band is going to be playing. You know, either yours because you throw a 99-yard touchdown pass, or my band is going to be playing because we pinned you in the end zone for a safety. That's what I'd do. I'd drop 3 and bring 8. You know what? If you beat me, you beat me.
And I believe we have a timeout called. Eastern Hancock calls the timeout. We'll keep it here and remind you that our next broadcast here on 9 Star TV, some great girls volleyball action, HHC action, Newcastle. Ranked number 3 in Class 4A. They had an upset win over Yorktown. We had the call of that earlier this week. They will be taking on Pendleton Heights, another top 10 team in Class 4A. Great volleyball, HHC, coming up on Wednesday, September 25th at 7 p.m. right here on 9 Star TV.
You know, I was talking to a couple of people the other day, and they asked me about why is East Central Indiana volleyball so good. Well, one of the answers is the Munciana Volleyball Club.
Yep.
But, you know, over there, everybody's good. It doesn't matter if you're single A, Wapahani, Cowan, Delta, Yorktown, Muncie Burris, Muncie Central. They're all good because it's either get better or get beat. Yeah. And those teams, you know, they got tired of getting their head kicked in by Burris and those teams, so they got better. It's great volleyball.
Yorktown, Newcastle, yes. Pendleton Heights, all ranked in the top 10 in 4A. You got Wapahani ranked in 2A. You got Muncie Burris ranked in 3A.
Yeah.
It's
just really,
fun.
really
good volleyball. If you have
volleyball.
not been able to go check out volleyball in East Central Indiana, definitely do it.
Yeah, and a lot of the credit goes to Don Shondell, who was a long-time volleyball coach at Ball State, and then he started that club out there and got girls traveling and going all around the country. But out there, it is competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that you're going to find better volleyball probably anywhere in the state of Indiana.
And I had the call earlier this week, Newcastle and Yorktown at the Newcastle Fieldhouse. That was fun.
Yeah.
Here on 9 Star TV. So we'll have Newcastle and Pendleton Heights coming up next week. Right now, here on this Friday night, high school football, week 5 of the football schedule around the state of Indiana. It is 3rd and 10, and that pass is batted down in the end zone. Brings up 4th down. What a stop by Eastern Hancock's defense.
Yeah, it was a big right defensive end there, number 54, I believe, who gets his big paw on it. It's either him or the outside linebacker. It was the outside linebacker there. I think that might have been Connor Schultz. It was the linebacker coming off the end. I thought it was a defensive end, but it might have been a linebacker.
So you saw where that ball is spotted at about the 2-yard line. 4th and long for Knightstown. Still in dangerous territory. And it looks like they will punt. They will. And that went straight up into the air. Eastern Hancock will just let it roll inside the 30-yard line.
But you know what? From the situation, that's not a bad punt. You know,
Yeah.
you send the kid out there. Normally, punters take 2 steps, and again, they have 2 seconds to get it off. When you're backed up with your, in the shadow of the goalpost, you 1-step punt. The idea is to get it going out.
Yeah.
I don't care how far it goes, get it out of here. All right, and again, 29 yards, not a bad punt really from where he was standing.
So the Royals, great field position. We'll try it again. They were stopped at the goal line last time.
Can't say enough about the Knightstown defense. I know you say, what? They've given up 46, but they've had 3 really huge goal line stands.
Closing in on 4 minutes left here in tonight's contest. Another carry. And being stopped. That was Friesen, the ball carrier. And a loss of about 1 or 2 on the play.
Well, you're going to see this again. Eastern's probably not going to throw the football unless they have to, even though that's what they do best. They've obviously had success tonight running the ball. They've got probably well over 200 yards rushing total with their 4-man backfield there. But they're just going to want to keep the ball on the ground and force Knightstown to call some timeouts here as the clock gets down.
Eastern Hancock looking to advance to 4-1 on the year. They fake the handoff. They throw it to the near side. Cole Rainbolt with a reception. 20 inside the red zone, and a flag thrown towards the end of the play.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a hold out there where that was. We'll look at the replay. We have the luxury of that. The official has to make the call in real time. But there was a block going on out here on the perimeter right by the numbers, and apparently the official feels that he either got outside the frame or had too much of his shirt. Let's take a look at it. Right there.
Yeah, the hold.
Yeah, actually could have been a face mask
Hayden
too.
Sotelo.
Yeah, because you look like number 18 grabs his face mask and kind of yanks him past, but Sotelo probably does have
sometimes
a
a telling sign is after they do it, they
Oh,
throw their hands up
absolutely.
like, oh, I didn't do it.
Well, again, you got coach hat out of them too. Because you're right. I told kids that all the time. You might as well just throw the flag on yourself.
So after the penalty, 2nd and long. Swan will pitch it to the near side. J.P. Fox breaks a tackle, still moving along the sideline and steps out of bounds about the 15.
Well, a great play, and again, a little trickery, a little misdirection. Everybody's going right. You flip the ball to Fox on coming back to the left. The only thing I'll say to the kid is, son, you got to stay in bounds. You don't want the clock to stop in this situation, but a great football play. Everything's going right. They pitch the ball to Fox coming back left. Good downfield blocking there by number 5. That was Cole Rainbolt. And this is where he needs to fall back inside.
So fresh set of downs at the 15-yard line. The Royals up 46-27, over 3 minutes to go. And they'll reverse it. Rainbolt moving to the right. Flags flying everywhere as he goes to the end zone, but we'll see if it's coming back.
It is. Number 25, Landon O'Neill with a block in the back.
Fancy little play there,
No,
though.
it's a great. I told you at the beginning, these coaches know each other well, and you knew there was going to be some trickery. But this is an easy one. I think even Mrs. O'Neill in the stands probably called this one. You're going to see it. And again, you do it right at the ball. Watch number 25 here as he comes in and just shoves the kid right in the back.
Our camera guys.
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, again, I tell kids all the time, I would rather you not block than block in the back or hold. Just don't. We got guys that
Just
are
let 'em
shifty.
go. Yeah.
He may break a tackle, but when you block him in the back in front of everybody, it's a pretty easy call.
So now it is 1st and a mile for Eastern Hancock. Under 3 minutes to play here in tonight's contest as they let that play clock run down, closing in on 10 seconds on the play clock. Swan will snap it, hand it off to Fox, and he gets to the 23-yard line.
Again, Eastern Hancock's going to go with the senior David Fields has come on to play some offensive line. I'm sure Coach Armstrong and Coach Gallion have said, all right, kid, you're a senior. Go out there and finish this thing.
Second and long for the Royals. And again, just wasting time off that play clock and the game clock. They'll hand it off Friesen, and he's going to be taken down in the backfield.
I'm a little surprised, too. Knightstown's got to start pulling at the football here. They're going to use one of their timeouts. But when the first guy gets there and wraps him up, the second and third guy have got to yank on the football.
The timeout taken with under 2 minutes to go here in the ball game. We're going to take the break with them. Eastern Hancock looking to advance to 4-1 on the year. We'll be right back on 9 Star TV.
The Big 12 is not for the weak. You face Red River shootouts and destructive cyclones, with Cowboys and Longhorns ready to take you down. Every week, you fight or surrender. Win or lose, you do. Or you don't. There is no other choice. Big 12 football on FS1, or watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app.
Rob Conant, Jim Leisure, and the rest of the 9 Star TV crew with you here from Eastern Hancock High School coming out of the timeout. 1:57 left in tonight's contest. The Royals up big, 46-27. Swan will hand it off up the middle. And once again, it is Wes Kane with the carry. Getting a couple of good looks.
Well, the Knightstown coach really doesn't have a choice here. He can't stand around and watch 40 seconds come off the clock. If he does, he's going to get the football back with a minute. So that's a good draw. Nice call. Not only does it keep the football on the ground, you don't risk the incompletion stop of the clock. But, again, they're thinking you got to throw here, so everybody drops. And nice little pickup. I mean, it was third and a bunch. I mean, it was like 27 or so. So the fact that he's got it to a somewhat manageable 4th and 14, 15, that's a pretty good football play. In fact, I might run it again.
Eastern Hancock looking to advance to 4-1 on the year. They will get South Decatur coming up next week. This is the second of 4 straight home games for Eastern Hancock. You don't see that very often. They started the year with 3 straight games on the road. They were at home losing to Heritage Christian last week. And here they are tonight against Knightstown. They'll have 2 more home games coming up in the next 2 weeks. 4th and long. Swan looking for the end zone, and it is intercepted again. Taken away by Robert Porter, his second straight interception, but he fumbled the ball. Ball is loose, and the Royals get it back. Oh. Wow.
Well, sometimes if it wasn't for bad luck, you'd have no luck at all. What a great play by Brown. He's trying to return it out, trying to make a football play. You can't fault the kid. He gets hit from behind, and he just fumbles the football, and a alert Royal defender or offensive player turned defender falls on it. So 1st and 10 for the Royals, and they pretty much can run it out, I think, here, as Eastern should only have 1 timeout. Was carrying it a little bit loosely away from his body, and the ball's knocked out, and you see it live there, or see it loose there, and clearly Eastern Hancock. So
the Royals get it back. David Fields recovered it for Eastern Hancock, and they're just about right back where they started.
Yeah.
But instead, it's now 1st down.
Now, of course, the victory formation here, you got a man deep. That's Friesen all the way back on the 30, and 2 running backs on either side of Swan. Again, I think Knightstown can kill it one more time as far as the clock is concerned, but they should be able to run it down after that. But I don't understand how you can get in this formation with your quarterback under center, but you can't when it's 4th and goal on the 6-inch line. I actually saw some teams, they get the victory formation from shotgun.
This is the first time all night that we have not seen Swan in the shotgun, and that will just about do it. The Royals are going to advance to 4-1 on the year, and why that is such a big deal, Jim. Last year, Eastern Hancock had 3 wins total.
Right.
in their first 5 games this year, 4 victories.
Well, and again, last year Swan was a freshman, had to play. He probably wasn't ready. But again, you don't have anybody else. And so, again, that's really the record, I think, is an indication of their youth last year.
Houston Swan, what a night the sophomore had for Eastern Hancock. All around, what a great game. The Royals went up big early. They led at halftime 40-21. Each team scores just one more touchdown in the second half. That's all the Royals needed. Eastern Hancock advances to 4-1 on the year as they win it against Knightstown. They get the victory over their rivals, 46-27. Your final score here tonight.
Well, a great high school football game. And, again, I don't think anybody's over there asking for their money back. Lots and lots of big plays and fireworks. And just, penalties, but it wasn't like Coach Montgomery described earlier, just that, just avalanche of penalties that they had last week. Pretty good football game. I enjoyed it.
Houston Swan with 4 touchdowns through the air tonight. And how about Zach Arnold? Wasn't exactly one of the top guys on offense coming into this game for the Royals, but he had a 43-yard touchdown rush, a couple of other great big plays on the ground. Very impressed by him. Again, a sophomore. A lot of this offense for Eastern Hancock, sophomores and juniors.
Yeah, again, and coaches never give up on a season. I talked to him this week. He thinks this is a pretty good football team that has a chance to go a long way, but he did admit to kind of peeking forward just a little bit because of all the youth they have. And he said some of their linemen are sophomores. Their quarterback's a sophomore. You got another sophomore that kind of emerged tonight in that young man. So, and if you're Knightstown, they didn't play poorly. They just didn't play well enough. And you got to go back and coach it and, and look at the film and get better and go back and win your conference. Knightstown's in the Mid-Eastern. They're in the Tri-Eastern. And Eastern's in the Hancock's in the Mid-Eastern, so they're not conference foes. Both of them still have a chance to win the conference, and so you still have something to play for, not to mention the sectionals in the tournament.
Eastern Hancock now 4-1 on the year. Well, like we mentioned, they will be back at home next week to host South Decatur. As for Knightstown, the Panthers are now 3-2. They will get back to conference play next week, remain on the road. They will be at Cambridge City Lincoln 1 week from tonight. Again, Houston Swan, a great performance from the sophomore quarterback for Eastern Hancock. 4 touchdowns through the air. And for Knightstown, leading the way was their leading rusher, Nick Walsh. 3 more touchdowns on the ground for the Knightstown senior. But again, Jim, what a fantastic game as you see Eastern Hancock, this rivalry game. They get the anvil back on their side. They lost to Knightstown last year. They get revenge here in 2019.
Yeah, and again, that's a big old trophy. I think I might put that on a golf cart or something rather than have the kids carry it. You don't want anybody to get hurt. But good for happy for the Eastern Hancock kids, and the Knightstown kids have nothing to be ashamed of. They played hard. They came up short. Next week's another week.
We're going to wrap things up here on 9-Star TV. What a great night we had. Again, Eastern Hancock beats Knightstown 46-27 for John Painter and Austin. Everyone else involved here with 9-Star TV with Jim Leisure. I'm Rob Connett. Thanks for tuning in to our Game of the Week. Eastern Hancock wins it 46-27. Good night.